Tanimo, Onunchoni ha or Dama, Chichele Wekun, Yanutumo, Osolimo Jiake, Ubaonani, Aya, Baba Shushui. Amen.
Here are some stories from the various regions. In the Central Region, the Deputy Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources and MP for Ewutisenya West, Gisela Tete, has urged the youth to promote values of their forefathers and promote unity and national development. She spoke at the 69th Independence Day celebration at Abrache Senior High.
Youth and as children, you are our future. So please remember to behave in ways that you yourself one day will be proud of in the future.
We'll move from a district to another level. Very soon, we'll move from a district to another level. I'll leave that one at that. When the time comes, announcements will be made. Because we have reached a point where we have to be a municipal. And this government has considered that. Also on education, teachers, we are now partners in development. So we are going to have some interactions in the coming 2 months. We are going to get closer to the MP and to the DC because we are partners in development and we must make sure that our success is tied together. And also that your performance and output as a teacher must also be tied together with my performance as an MP and the DC's performance as the district chief executive. We are aiming high and we want to take you along.
The District Chief Executive, Kaladanya Miche, pledged the Assembly's commitment to initiating more development projects to improve living conditions in the district.
The District Assembly are not just administrative bodies. We are the heartbeat of development, implementing policies that enhances livelihoods, create jobs, and ensure that no one is left out. In view of this, project executed under my leadership as follows with District Assembly Common Fund. With education, we are building 3-unit classroom block at Loye, and currently as we speak is at the 85% completion. The same Loye, we are also building 2-unit KG block, and currently as time here is at 85% completion. At Usmabina, we are also building 6 units of modern classroom, and as we speak, it's at 75 completion.
Moving on to other regional stories, as part of its corporate, social and responsibility, the MTN Ghana Foundation has supported hospitals nationwide with maternity blocks, emergency centers, and equipment, and now plans to expand healthcare support further. The Volta Regional Minister, James Kunu, praised the initiative and emphasized the need for collaborative efforts to bring quality healthcare closer to the people.
This vision cannot be achieved by government alone. It requires the collective effort of all stakeholders. And that is the beauty of what brings us here today. The MTN Ghana Foundation has heard this call to national duty. This new accident and emergency block, fully equipped, will dramatically improve the capacity of the whole teaching hospital to handle emergencies, including the need for stressful and costless referrals outside the region.
These to applaud ourselves. We mention them to remind ourselves that significance demands responsibility. A responsibility we carry with humility and purpose. So today, as we gather to hand over this accident and emergency block, built to international standards, we are happy to provide another lifeline. But that is not all. This year, we plan to build another health facility and provide modern diagnostic equipment to identified hospitals.
For more stories, you can log on to our website www.metrotvonline.com and follow us on all social media platforms at Metro TV Ghana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this prestigious opportunity. First, I would like to commend my honorable member who actually presented this very important statement. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to SMEs issues in Ghana, I think it is time we give it the needed attention as a country and priority in terms of our state policies, especially when we're trying to find a long-term solution to dealing with the consolidation of our fiscal space. I'm saying this because, as stated here, SMEs plays very important role in our ecosystem as a country. However, there are so many challenges confronting SMEs actors in our country today, contributing to the sinusoidal performance of our economy and our inability to be fully independent as a sovereignty. There are two main extracts in the statement that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to concentrate on. One, capitalization, and two, consolidating the various SMEs dimensions in our country. Mr. Speaker, it looks as if we are not leveraging our advantage and opportunity as a country. I'm saying this because there seems to be a very big gap between the opportunities according or opportunities that we accord large-scale corporate bodies and these SMEs in our country. And if we can realize this and do something about it as a country, it will go a long way to help us attain the long-term economic growth and stability that have been so much challenging to us as a country. Mr. Speaker, SMEs in Ghana, when it comes to the cost of even borrowing. It is not comparable to most of their colleagues within the West Africa sovereignty. Some of them, the rate is beyond 45% and some 50%. And even access to them is a problem. Inadequate funds on our market, simply because of the risk factors that we actually find them always kind of position themselves with. So, Mr. Speaker, if we can connect them as the maker of this statement is concerned, first, as a country, we need to accord SMEs the needed opportunity to, one, have adequate funds, two, to have funds that come with less cost that can be competitive enough. Mr. Speaker, some of these things do not even attract investors. They seem to be getting closer to our neighboring countries because of some of these opportunities. Two, actors of even this very segment of our socio-economic framework, most of them are not experienced. So even sometimes when you give them funds, the money goes bad. They can't even pay back because they don't even have people who have the requisite know-how. And Mr. Speaker, don't let us forget the fact that one of the key functions of performance is ability. So you can even give them the funds without the appropriate orientation and training. The monies given to them will go bad. And the sustainability of SMEs in our country can never be realized. Two, or three, Mr. Speaker, even within government-owned sector, whether government A or B, we've come to realize that we have a lot of, I would say, institutions or bodies positioning themselves in a way to capitalize these SMEs. I think there are too many. We found out with the previous government, and we are still finding that with this government. Can we sit down and try to consolidate the effort of these state-owned institutions that are capitalizing these SMEs? Even Maslow can be made like GCB in Ghana, but solely for the SMEs, and it has to be properly run. EOs cannot be appointed.
Honourable member, your time is up. That's why the microphone went off. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this prestigious opportunity. First, I would like to commend my honorable member who actually presented this very important statement. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to SMEs issues in Ghana, I think it is time we gave it the needed attention as a country and priority in terms of our state policies, especially when we're trying to find a long-term solution to dealing with the consolidation of our fiscal space. I'm saying this because, as stated here.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by my brother, Ms. Bao, and also to take advantage and wish our Muslim brothers Ramadan Kareem. If you go to my constituency in Efia, we have a very huge Muslim population, and so I am at all faults with the statement that he has made, particularly linking the effect of climate change in the area of heat to the effect on the people during the Ramadan fasting. Mr. Speaker, I have quite a good experience in the north over the past years, about 20 years and beyond. When you go to the north, yes, we've always noted that the temperatures there have been very high compared to the south. But recently, when we visited there as a committee, you could literally feel the heat, even in a time where you didn't expect the heat to be as strong as it is today. So it clearly tells us that there are certain things that are going on which is affecting the climate as we see today. And so we all have a collective responsibility to do something about it. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned about deforestation. You know, if you take our country, there's always been a clarion call. How are we protecting our forests? And you realize that our forests have not had any strategic government intervention or any government policy to protect the forests that we have. And it's even being compounded by the activities of illegal mining, because previous lands that were used for agricultural purposes, today you've seen an impact of illegal mining activities because they are unapproved in the area of legalization. They go in there and destroy our forest reserve. And so it's a very important situation we need to look at as a government and as a parliament, so that we can take strategic actions in minimizing the effect of deforestation and then also the activities of illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, to just conclude because of time, I would want to urge this House that collectively we have a responsibility to look at our laws that governs our climate and our environment. The Committee of Environment, Science and Technology should also, which of course I'm a part of that committee, should also be looking at some interventions, engagement with the sector ministry to make sure that at the end of the day, we get the best for this country. Mr. Speaker, to our Muslim brethren as they go towards the final lap of their fasting period, I want to wish them very well. You can see that some of their faces are shining. The way Suhini is brightening today in the house, I believe that it's going well for him. Please, the advice is that avoid the heat during its high movement so that you can reserve some energy. Mr. Speaker, without more, I want to commend the maker of the statement for this very important statement made. I thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by my brother, Ms. Bao, and also to take advantage and wish our Muslim brothers Ramadan Kareem. If you go to my constituency in Efia, we have a very huge Muslim population, and so I am at all faults with the statement that he has made, particularly linking the effect of climate change in the area of heat to the effect on the people during the Ramadan fasting. Mr. Speaker, I have quite a good experience in the North over the past years, about 20 years and beyond. When you go to the North, yes, we've always noted that the temperatures there have been very high compared to the South. But recently, when we visited there as a committee, you could literally feel the heat, even in a time where you didn't expect the heat to be as strong as it is today. So it clearly tells us that there are certain things that are going on which is affecting the climate as we see today. And so we all have a collective responsibility to do something about it. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned about deforestation. You know, if you take our country, there's always been a clarion call. How are we protecting our forests? And you realize that our forests have not had any strategic government intervention or any government policy to protect the forests that we have. And it's even being compounded by the activities of illegal mining, because previous lands that were used for agricultural purposes, today you've seen an impact of illegal mining activities because they are unapproved in the area of legalization. They go in there and destroy our forest reserve. And so it's a very important situation we need to look at as a government and as a parliament, so that we can take strategic actions in minimizing the effect of deforestation and then also the activities of illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, to just conclude because of time, I would want to urge this House that collectively we have a responsibility to look at our laws that governs our climate and our environment. The Committee of Environment, Science and Technology should also, which of course I'm a part of that committee, should also be looking at some interventions, engagement with the sector ministry to make sure that at the end of the day, we get the best for this country. Mr. Speaker.
Karga.
Yufuza lam nambayingan kana zo assembly. Ntek par office na maza, temi mala daler ka parma. Te daler ni yeshambo. Tra kana te zanto kunye DC. No li ma asama ma zibsum. Kama sare. Dizo ko mi sarma. Ka bo boyfriend na asama ma karni. Ka tuwa chantede. Ka gwamnati so ciwo ma nyinte to. Kama wace ka zibsum da asama ma. Titi tumtuwa yi so gwamnati an yanko to. Kora no wumya. Ka tatlan labna. Tatlan labna ka anda yu ka sai. Ka shahara diru rabian dindale. Birinya banma. Bien da bien. Ka police commander bien. Ka admin commander bien. Dindama ka DC ba bien. Ka trazanti shahara ni yeshete ka brano po ka pa natin kana ka bien di shahara nan non fen yanga.
How do you feel about your old plane right now?
My old plane. My old plane is an air ambulance now. Emergency air ambulance for every Ghanaian. Not for me alone, for every Ghanaian.
Thank you. How do you feel about your old plane right now?
My old plane. My old plane is an air ambulance now. Emergency air ambulance for every Ghanaian. Not for me alone, for every Ghanaian.
Thank you. How do you feel about your old plane right now?
My old plane. My old plane is an air ambulance now.
After the tragedy of losing his wife, Lordina adopted him as her second husband. And I'll go into the kitchen and Lordina is cooking light soup, abeng wine, jollof rice, and all that. To go to my husband, Reverend Basie. And so for many years until Mama Pat came onto the scene, Lordina was the one cooking his light soup and everything. And so I want to thank him. We received this invitation to be here more than 1 year ago. Ink it into my program. You know how busy this job is. And so today we said definitely we must be here to honor him for the good work he's done. It's
we say shoes I saw moi. On m'a dit pas parlement, na case on m'a dit moi c'est hey. When I said, Omo a champagne socialist, Omo confront them, tell them that they are champagne socialists. That is what they do. Hypocrisy, double standard. They do politics without principles. Tell them on your campuses. Face them with these words. These are hard facts. They should look at their leaders. Now they are enjoying. And they have abandoned the grassroots. Some of the teen boys who are hungry and on campuses, when they want to do politics, face them with these facts. Tell them, they lie to you. They make you a hungry person. They make you poorer. They don't even give you opportunity. Yet you follow propaganda. Face them with the facts. Because MPP, we have a story to tell. Don't be worried at all when you hear on your campuses they are tagging any of your leaders with that so-called corruption. Don't mind them. If they do not, they believe in whatever they are saying, they should go to court. And go and tell the truth to the court. It's the reason why they removed the Chief Justice. Because they know that the Chief Justice will not help them to do persecution.
Relationship. Onipa Eyede Nanso Venenam Benjamin said, Mwe Brebe Mwa say, your president, former president, Kufo. Tamwa, because school, Achimota school, says for. Nane Bakufi Kufo, now I am a collar with Henderson. Now, the woman say, Achimota school, says for myself, Yamaya cubicles. 18 years ago, Papa weekend, but we're doing a bar. I saw the pussy who senior no there. And it's been in the What is the Kufoba Kofi, the pianist? Relationship, myself, and make a child. Sometimes, say, you need a new president, obey a president of Ghana. Mrs. So, Nimi said that she made you grapple, Nimi the one for shared politics. But Essa or Dobby a better, many president for Temunti. But you need money to be bad if you weekend. Airport, I what's now, no, Bisabe, no, Profi, Opa Wine, Yaya Colabo, Uya Colaba, that's when you're a penny, and you know. Relationship here. MDC, you know, as senior. But here we are, Nimis, you can see a grown Peter Padia. Yamma on your donor way in Temno, and you can see. Mr. President, I'm going to now watch what that's what offering now. Discover Bishop Kutubi and then my chief of staff. Now, it doesn't be a muswa.
Tanumo, Onunchoni ha or Dama, Chicheli Wekun, Yanutumo, Osolimo Jiake, Ubao Nani, Aya. Baba Shushui. Amen. Tanumo Onunchoni ha or Dama Chicheli Wekun Yanutumo Osolimo Jiake Ubao Nani Aya Baba Shushui. Amen.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is the 10th of March, 2026. My name is Aldo Moore, and it's always a pleasure to come here with a beautiful Tuesday morning. And today is the day the Lord has made, or this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say big thanks to Almighty God for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country. Ghana. Remember that the show is also live on 94.1 FM on your radio dial, so please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you can follow the conversation on our radio dial, which is 94.1 FM, and I can tell you that it's a fantastic experience because it is crystal clear. You can hear everything that we say on the show today. Let me go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. As I always do, I start with the Daily Graphic. Daily Graphic this morning says that government bans 9 land transit goods. There's 155 granted Ghanaian citizenship. There's DDEP put pressure on banks, balance sheets, according to the BOG governor. There's Ghana reaffirms commitment to conflict-free diamond trade. That's on the front page of today's Daily Graphic. If you look at the Daily Searchlight, it says Ghana's Mpox outbreak infects more than 1,008 dead as Ghana intensifies national health. There's UN chief appalled by attack on Ghanaian peacekeepers. There's clock-sack strike cripples public systems. Pastor arrested in joint cybercrime probe over alleged abuse of minor. There's a GMET initiates steps to address weather conditions and rainfall patterns, and that's on the front of today's Daily Searchlight. If you go to the Ghanaian Times, it says that clock-sack strike cripples government work. MDAs, MMDAs offices closed. There's clients stranded. Ghana welcomes African diaspora as citizens. There's also 5 dead in renewed violence at Igbenyere. And there's Commonwealth Day. Ghana affirms commitment to global peace, democracy. That's on the front of today's Ghanaian Times. And there's the Daily Guide that says gold diversification, not loss of national assets. BOG governor. Young innovators pitch at Changemakers Challenge. NSA scandal. AG hits Osesibe with 7 more charges. Gifty Owari opposes witness list order. This pastor defiles 13-year-old church member. 5 arrested over Liberian man lynching. The Insight this morning says that revealed Britain's role in attacks on Cyprus, Venezuela, and Iran. This BOG's 117 billion cedi stabilization effort drives inflation down to 3.3%. That's according to Siama. The Kwesi Pratt mourns with Iran signs book of condolence over U.S.-Israel killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. There's race for aid. Ghana Country Director Imam Mutawakilu Abubakar, honored by GES and the Tolon District Assembly. Able Kuma. There's Joma Hasafwache implores IGP to assist community with the police barrier. SMG calls for women's liberation and the global solidarity on International Women's Day. Parliament pushes for ecocide law as MPs rally to protect Ghana's environment. The New Republic. Fuel supply lines are secure, but price storm gathers. NDC chases Gold Boss women of valor as grassroots spit fire on the Hilton Park Lane show. And there's also Deborah reveals NDC, NPP blurred lines. There's customs get staff on transit trade. Isiama makes case for gold sale to Parliament. That's on the front page of today's New Republic. It appears there's some fire on the mountain, isn't it? There's some storm raging in the NDC Cup. It's not been easy. Social media has been blazing. Wow. Anyway. Daily Post says that the health minister urges hospitals to allocate 10% of IGS for maintenance. There's Ghana reaffirms commitment to diamond sector reforms at Kimberley. There's Kimberley process review visit. And there's government bans land transit of rice, sugar, and 7 additional key commodities. Defense Ministry has no leadership vacuum, according to Broja Jemfi. The Ghanaian Times says that clocksack strike cripples government work. MMDA's offices closed and clients are stranded. And that is the second time I'm doing the Ghanaian Times. I don't know, maybe I fall in love with the Ghanaian Times. Let me go to My Joy Online. My Joy Online this morning is reporting that local mining firms face discrimination under new royalty regime. That's according to Steve Manteau. And there's also Labour Minister appeals to Clocksack to call off strike amid ongoing talks. Said Stema Oil Refinery plans capacity boost to 45,000 barrels per day. If you go to Ghana Web, it says that Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Kundi arrested and remanded into custody. And as I am Asaki's father, man opens up on how he allegedly gave up Singa for adoption. As ex-Cocobot CEO returns official vehicle. Ghana Web, this story has been on for a very long time. You know, you've got to change it. Anyway, there's MetroTVOnline.com that says, I walk freely without arrest or intimidation despite NDC claims in opposition. That's according to the former health minister. Hits back at critics. That's Ajimam Menu. Now, let me now look at the right. So Ghana Web says strangers 500 Ghana cedis allowance. Anita Dusoso lashes out over token appointments. And there's AI governance West Africa and what Africa can learn from AI leading countries, USA, China, and EU. There's Ghana bans land transit of rice, sugar, frozen food, in addition to cooking oil. So that's it for the online and newspaper review. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television.
Brian Tintin, Brian Tietia, Brian Hodeho, Yadi Yadano, Yadi Yadano, I am my shorty, mama si on pene so kra me pe wo na na kan so ase on pene so kra me pe the sama imagine na menim didi matem so ke bi amin ke bi ntire na wo padan mi wo kele wele wo padan mi wo tampiko enye bibi anti na me bro ohema e o telephone number anti na me bere sa no mate so papa ya adwuma o ministries any boy me so me mama to bro the cake ni meat pie bro ni friend pastries when you not say we have something in common when you not say I am my shorty one can no be no confirm me miss molecho tell me who na bibi I am yo oh me da do no confirm me miss molecho tell me who na bibi I am yo oh me da do I am my shorty one I am my shorty naka to photo for defe sa ko ko wo sra ko ma ko ta me slants vele prepare wo le sa bibi ko le here I wait the body and slang oh when the crack and tree about the flex on your accent go come on so I no go and come so bravo Adia Brana will be a bayan capra, never send me get the back. What up, Indian what the back? Can't get big days off it. I am my shorty, I am my shorty, I am my shorty,
Watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Aldo Moro, and my guest already has seated. In fact, one of them is here, so we'll proceed with our conversation for the day. So Kojo Nsafo-Opoku, who is an energy expert, but also the special aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and also... Oh, you used to be the special aide.
I've never been a special aide.
You were the head of the
Yes, I was the chairman of the energy committee on the manifesto, but I've never been an aide. I mean, those positions, people run them about. I've never been a special aide. Sorry?
You were the former head.
I was the chairman of a manifesto committee. It's a transient position. Manifesto is done, you move on. I mean, all the titles I have, all the entrepreneur and the title, why would you even want to go into that?
No, that's fine.
Member of MVP Communication, executive director of INSTEP, executive director of GASOP, executive director of Hydro, small hydro, a lot of things that I've done in life.
But how are all those institutions doing? I mean,
they are doing very well. So people should introduce me as such, to bring in all these aid. How am I aid to somebody?
lift you up small.
No, but that is me having my own company, employing people is better than me being a
After
aide.
this one,
what is the
you
aide?
may get a call.
No, but the point is that how, no, but if I get a call, see, if I'm, listen, Dr. Baumia, and good morning, sir. May God assist you in the fasting that you're doing. I know we know the last 10 days are the most difficult, and you're also doing Ramadan, right?
True.
And so we hear that our prayers are with you guys. We hear the last 10 days are the most difficult part, so we pray with you guys. But, bro, the point I'm making is that I don't want to demean the position of the aide. But I think that when you have someone like me, who is well accomplished, I would prefer that you put out my institutional titles and aide. I mean, what is the aide?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure that the production team had a good intention.
They know, but they keep doing that. Somebody will put former presidential aspirant. How is former presidential aspirant? Yes, member of the MPP communication. That's fine. We ended there. But if you want to go into my credentials, then use any of my what I have earned in life.
So Kojo Pokun Safwa is an energy expert and a member of the MPP's communications team. At least this one. For this one,
executive director of.
No, it makes it longer.
Whichever one, but you could have skipped the energy expert and say executive director.
You prefer the.
Of course, because that is what I do. I mean, I'm an executive director, I'm a board chairman, I'm a board member, I'm so many things. Those are the things I want people to see me as. People who don't have jobs are the one who likes these things. I employ a lot of people in this country. So I like those things for people to know that.
How many people have you employed so far?
How many people I employ currently? In
employed?
Takoradi, I have about 58.
Oh,
58. Takoradi.
Okay.
In Accra, about 17. I had a laboratory which I just closed beginning of this year.
Why?
And that laboratory, because the location, we started it during COVID.
Okay.
And we expanded it, but the location in East Legon wasn't so favorable. That was about, I think, 18 employees that at the beginning of this year, I had to let go, you know. But I'm trying to relocate the machines to Kumasi.
Okay.
You know, so there's a lot that we do. Those are the things we want people to see us as. If not, people will now see you as, oh, look at that guy on TV or Mobra.
Right.
At least Yabobra.
That's fine. Anyway, let me also say that you're a very good friend. Inus Afuseni, he was an MP former MP for Tamale Central, is also here. He'll be taking the seat shortly. But how have you been?
I've been fine.
How's your party's what's the name? You've been asking party people to
register.
Basically register.
Do a registration.
And
yes,
I think it's for new members, isn't it?
We are doing it's going very well.
It's going very well.
Basically, I think the structure that the party came up with, which is there should be polling station meetings, and at the polling station meetings, the people that attend these meetings will be registered, and that will form the basis for our polling station album. We've had a little glitch with that because not a lot of the polling station chairmen or the existing polling station executives are calling these meetings. So there's been a lot of concern from quite a number of party members at the grassroots and the party hierarchy. I spoke to Justin, the General Secretary, and I think they are changing the format. So in the coming days, I think the party headquarters through the General Secretary will announce a new format that they want to use. We just 1 week into the exercise, and it's only good to review it and then tweak it so that the rest of the month we will be able to get the album and then the exercise, so that from next month going, we can start doing the polling station elections.
Okay. All right. Let me welcome your other colleague, the Honorable Inus Afuseni, who's also joined us. Honorable, Kolafia. Alhamdulillah. Hawe hankuri ya zona tiles.
Dule.
Ya zona dule ya dawi. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
And I hope you're doing very well.
I'm doing very, very well. Fine.
How's the Ramadan treating you?
So we are 20 days, 21 days,
21
depending
days.
on when you started.
Yes.
So 10 days more.
10 days more.
But now it's
is that a 9 or 10, isn't it?
No,
In fact,
yes.
8 or 9?
No, 9 or 10.
Okay, today is 21 for some
9 or
people,
10
so that's
for
9
some
or 10.
people, yeah.
Okay.
This period is the most intensive.
Yeah.
So we have the Taraweeh, and then we have Qiyam al-Layl, that is the Tahajjud. So you don't sleep. I mean, this is a time that you have to pray to God for all that you desire in life. And God designs I mean, sends angels on a particular day we call the Laylatul Qadr.
Right.
And it's the wish of every Muslim to chance
on that
day.
Yeah, take advantage of it. Yeah.
We are meeting too often. I don't know whether it's a good sign or a bad sign.
Well, I think it's a good sign because
on Saturday we are meeting. I don't know whether it's a good sign or a bad sign, but I'll take it as a good sign.
It looks like it's planned, but it's not.
No. But you see, I like meeting because they have a lot of wisdom. They've been around for a long time, and in the space that we are in, I mean, though we have learned on the feet for a long time, they have been on the front line much longer. So when you meet them, you pick a lot from them. You know, I mean, aside the normal politics, when the light comes on, we do. I mean, the relationship is also interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah,
the relationship gets very interesting.
Very interesting.
And in fact, quite interesting. In fact, the conversation I came to meet throws more light on what we had said earlier.
Right.
Coco, we had said that, you see, when your party goes into an election and loses the election in the way that the MPP lost the election, it calls for serious introspection. And that you should not rush things. You should go back and look at what caused it. And the best place to start is at the grassroots. Because they are the people. You see, it is not for nothing that our constitution arranges our political system in terms of constituencies, and the constituencies are further delineated into branches. Okay, and then the electoral commission says that a branch has no more than 800 people. So if your party is working, you should know the state of your party at the branch.
Right.
Okay, and so when you lose an election with that kind of votes or that margin, you should go back to the basics and see what made your branch 800 people not come out to vote for you. And that's what we're saying. Don't rush into electing your flag bearer. You know what that does? That compels people to simply line up behind the flag bearer. That doesn't create that open, fair ground, equal playing field for all those who want to contest. Because if you are seen not to support the flag bearer, you'll be hard done by.
But you see, we had a peculiar challenge, and this is where the reason behind, and I think for what we are experiencing now, we think it's worked. Look, when you're in power, you don't have people actively expressing a view and basically taking a stand that, look, I want to contest. In 2022, all the people that were going to contest, hardly anybody had made it known. So we were able to go to the polling station and look at the assembling of the election at that level.
Yes.
And you know, the polling station now become what you guys call branches.
Yes.
Now becomes the people who elect the constituency executives and the regional and the national.
Yes.
Okay. When we lost 2024, we now had formidable individuals who have made it clear that they will contest.
So let me tell you why. You see, the arrangement is simply this. So the community in which we have the polling station or the branch, depending on which constitution you are using, and this is his branch, this is a polling station. Now, and our polling station is coterminous to, our branch is coterminous to the polling station. That those people elect those they want to supervise them.
Yes.
The polling stations in the constituency then elect those they want to supervise them.
Yes.
After having been elected by the people living in the branch or polling station, the polling station executives now also go to elect those they have confidence in
to be coordinators.
To be coordinators, to supervise them.
Yes.
Then the constituency executives will now go to elect in a region, will now go to elect the regional executives they have confidence in to supervise them.
Right. That is the ideal. That's the ideal situation. Yeah. If everybody will stay off and let that process take its place. But what we noticed was that the minute you have the three key individuals, at that point, beginning of last year, was Brian, Kennedy, and Bawumia. And they had made it very known that they will contest. What that does is that the base now start being divided along those lines.
Okay.
Because bear in mind, whoever elects the flag bearer, you have over 90% of the polling station executives forming that delegate album. So you think that if you are able to get about 41% or 45% of that base to be elected, then I am already through that line. So what we were scared of is that if we have started this process without having to now do that presidential, the base, their work is to do door to door. Their work is to disseminate party information. Their work, as you said, is to organize the base. The minute they see themselves as delegates to elect a flag bearer, they don't do the work they're supposed to do. And the fear was that if we did not elect the flag bearer before we start this process, our party will have been divided into three.
The unintended consequence is that the system that elected Bawumia in 2022 is the same system that elected him in 2025.
Yes, with a bit of a few additions, which is fine. A few additions, which is fine. But we hope that going forward with this exercise, that dichotomy, that split of three, we've avoided it.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, speaking about base and the sentiments of the base and how political parties must take the sentiments of the base very seriously, it appears that there's a certain sense that the NDC hasn't learnt its lessons when it comes to how it treats its rank and file. And I'm not saying it's a fact. I mean, there's a certain feeling out there. I mean, it's just a feeling. There's not treating its base the way it ought to. Now, over the weekend, there's been this uproar, major uproar, all over on social media, and it's continued actually till today. And the matter has to do with the sponsorship of a certain event. I don't want to mention the name of the event. And the event is being spearheaded by somebody who we're told is a known critic. It's not we're told, but yeah, she was a known critic of the NDC at some point. Of course, she's criticized the NPP at some point too, but it looks like she's criticized the NDC more. Now, the sponsorship has generated some widespread angst and some disquiet and some misgivings. And it has brought once again to the fore matters bordering on how the base is treated when party wins power. In 2016, when the NDC lost power, you did a Professor, may so rest in peace, Professor, I was the former finance minister. Yes, the Professor Kwesi Botwe report, and one of the things that came up had to do with, how the base was treated. Now, we're back again. The NDC is just a year and a few months in power. And these issues have reared their ugly head one more time. Now, if you look at the New Republic this morning, it's reporting that it says NDC chases gold boards women of valor. And I'm raising this issue because you've been around for a very long time, since the Rawlinses era and so on and so forth. I want to find out from you whether what is different about the NDC's base of today as compared to what you met, when you joined the party. So it says that the NDC chases gold boards women of valor as grassroots spitfire on a Hilton Park Lane show. Now, interestingly, there's another story of the current Chief of Staff, the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, who talks about the fact that the NDC and MPP partisanship is getting to a certain point where we're even losing our social connections. So you may be familiarly related or family relative, but once you belong to different parties, people don't want to even see the two of you together. But at the end of the day, people come from homes, people go to have attended the same school, attended the same church or mosque, and so on and so forth. But it's becoming a problem. Interestingly, that's the Chief of Staff's angle to this. Now, I want to look at the two stories. And again, closely related to this is your former National Women's Organizer, who's also been complaining bitterly, Anita Disosu. And I'll read her story as well. And there have been all kinds of reactions from different people. In fact, Gabriela Tete, who's a member of the NDC's communications team, she posits. In fact, she proposes a very interesting solution to how appointments should be made going forward and what should be expected of flag bearers who want to, or potential flag bearers. Because she wants to be very clear so that, Charlie, when you're a base, when you're a rank and file of the party, you know whether you should kill yourself to campaign for somebody or not. So let's start with this. The New Republic, this story is on page 6. There's a serious, appears to be some serious fire on the mountain. NDC chases Gold Ball's Women of Valor, and as grassroots spit fire on Hilton Park Lane show. Now, Gifty Boati is reporting that a glittering event in a London hotel has sparked a political firestorm back home as NDC full soldiers vent their fury over what they see as a betrayal by their own appointees. At the center of the storm are Sami Jemfi, head of the CEO of Goldbot, and his deputy Emefa Donko, accused by the party's base of funding an event hosted by a fierce critic of the administration. The 4th edition of the Women of Valor Award, held at the prestigious Hilton Park Lane, brought together over 600 women achievers from across the diaspora. Now, the brainchild of broadcast journalist Nana Aba Anamoah, the event was sleek, well attended, and politically inconvenient. For the NDC's grassroots, watching from home, it was a painful spectacle. The appointees appeared to be, co-signing or cozying up to a figure they remember as a relentless opponent during their lean years in government. Now, social media platforms have since become a pressure valve for rank and file, displeasure. Facebook, X, TikTok have been flooded with accusations of ingratitude and political naivety. The full soldiers, many of whom work tirelessly for the party's return to power, are asking a pointed question: why reward those who stood against us? Now, Central Regional Communications communicator Gabriel Tete did not mince words in. She says, since gone viral, the sister of the former Foreign Affairs Minister Hannah Tete demanded structural reforms to figure presidential appointments. Now, this is what she says: the next Congress should consider a new resolution for all aspiring flag bearers to provide us with a formula for the appointments. She wrote, suggesting a percentage-based breakdown for party members, friends, family, and the general public. Her frustration reflects a broader sentiment that the party's loyal base is being sidelined in favor of fair-weather friends. Others were more visceral. Zakaria Abdul Halik observed that some appointees see sitting with Nana Aba Anamoah and her gang as an achievement, adding that a damning account phrase, Chiakai, a warning not to forget, Franco Paris-Sapon, summed up the mood. Party members are seeking opportunities, but we give the opportunities to non-party members. Amid the uproar, Goldball Jewelry moved swiftly to contain the damage. In a statement issued on 8th March, the company insisted it had not funded the event. Its name appeared on the partner list. Officials explained because it offered discounts on jewelry purchases to participants as part of its Ghana Heritage Month promotion. The company did not contribute funds to the organization of the event. The statement read, emphasizing its focus on manufacturing and retailing made in Ghana jewelry. Now, insider sources suggest the participation was part of a broader, commercial strategy to market Ghana refined gold and locally manufactured products to premium diaspora markets. The logic is sound. Shifting from raw gold exports to finished jewelry offers high value and international visibility. But political optics, as the party is learning, are not always aligned with commercial sense. On the night, the politics were more subtle. MC Sewa Amehire acknowledged the headline sponsor, the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, EBID, alongside Travel Wings and Goldball Jewelry. Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, Saba Zeta Benson, was in attendance, along with Obobia Dakopoku of the Ghana Medical Trust. In her welcome address, Anamoah took a moment to praise President Mahama for appointing the first female High Commissioner in the UK in Ghana's 69-year history. It took 68 years, so we want to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for progress. She said, acknowledging the administration's commitment to a 40% quota for women. The irony was not lost in watching activity. Here was a critic praising the very government her host was accused of undermining. Beneath the social media tempest lie deeper questions about the relationship between the party and its appointees. The grassroots expect loyalty to be rewarded and criticism to carry consequences. When the lines blur, when appointees engage with figures perceived as adversarial, the base feels devalued. That's one story. Now, let me look at the Julius Deborah one, and that's on page 5 of the same newspaper. That's the David Tamaklo's paper. Good morning, David. I hope you're doing very well. Now, Julius Deborah says that the Chief of Staff says he delivered a strikingly personal appeal for national reconciliation, revealing his decades-old bond with former President John Kufuor and urging Ghanaians to transcend the toxic rivalries of the NDC-NPP divide. Addressing the Accra Friendship Club's dinner and awards night on Saturday, an event graced by the presence of ex-President Kufuor Deborah, Julius Deborah set aside the usual bureaucratic script to deliver what, amounted to a mediation on relationships, for forgiveness, and the quiet intersections of personal history that bind political forces or foes. Now it says, would you believe that the son of the former president, Kofi Kufuor, was someone I used to take care of while we were at a Chimota school? Deborah asked the audience, gathered under the underbridge, in a revelation that humanizes the often anonymous machinery of state, or the machinery of state. The chief of staff recounted his days as a sixth form student at Achimota, where he served as a school father to the younger Kofi Kufuor in the arcane traditions of the boarding school. Junior students entrusted their weekend provisions to senior students for safekeeping their cubicles. Deborah was the custodian of Kofi's food. So basically saying that, look, political parties must not divide us, and this is his story. Now, Anita Disosu, and just a paragraph from this before I bring you in, Honorable. Now, the NDC's stalwart, Anita Disosu, has once again called on the John Dramani Mahama government over the treatment of members of her party, including herself. Now, speaking in a recent interview, and this on Ghana Web, speaking in a recent interview on XYZ TV, Anita Disosu, while lamenting the appointments in the government being given to non-NDC members, disclosed that she was appointed to the board of the National Population Council. Okay. She said that she would have left the appointment but for her love for the party, indicating that the other members on the board were strangers in the NDC. Now, I'm going to quote her. If we want to win the next general election, or if we want our party to continue to be strong, we must do things to make members of our party happy. But if we do nothing, assume that we, the party members, are angels, and we keep sending MP members to where they are not supposed to be, and NDC members keep crying, I think it's not the best. Let me use myself as an example. I have been appointed to the board of the National Population Council. It's not for God. If not for God, I would have left already. If not for God and the party. There's also who has previously occupied top positions in the NDC, including being vice chairman and women's organizer, said, I don't know any person there. And so when we go for meetings, I just sit down quietly and look at them. I don't know where they were picked from. At least if I knew them, then we would know how to discuss issues to find solutions. Now, the former NDC women's organizer also expressed a disappointment with the allowance she gets from the meetings of the council. You can just imagine, I was late for one of the meetings. I could not get there early. I was called later, and when I went, I was given 500 cedis. What will Anita Disosu do with 500 cedis? Look at the number of people I support, and I'm being given 500 Ghana cedis. As soon as the money was given to me, I gave it to my driver. I've watched not the entire interview. I watched some aspects of it. And of course, it ties in with all the...
Well, the 500 cedis is a sitting allowance?
That's a sitting allowance, yes.
But how much did she think she was going to get?
Well, maybe she had high expectations, given what role she's played in the party. So, Honorable, it looks like things are not, the party is not sitting pretty.
Well, so first of all, I think that it's important for me to understand the frustrations of Anita Disosu, the worries of Gabriela, the exhortations of the Chief of Staff, and also the, if you want, the actions of Goldboard. You started by drawing me to recount my personal experiences. I didn't join the party. I was a member of a PNDC, the PNDC, at a lower level.
Fact.
And when the party transitioned to the movement, the revolution transitioned to a political party, I transitioned into the political party.
Right.
I started as a teacher. I was a chairman of an area teachers committee associated with the CDRs. So, and I was the secretary to my area's people's shop in the Teshigu area.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Then when I went to Legon, I became the 10th president of the NDC, the president of the Tertiary Institutional Network, the Tertiary Educational Institutional Network of the NDC, and I was a member of the Greater Accra Working Committee, and the Youth Working Committee of the party.
Right.
Now, the time I became 10th president, it was not fashionable to propagate NDC matters on the campus of the University of Ghana.
Interesting.
But we did. And I was also a law student. So I just made it impossible for my lecturers to fail me in the faculty.
Right.
Now, but I never expected anything from the party. I mean, I remember E.T. Mensah then as youth organizer. I could go to him. We'll talk, we'll devise, move at his home. He was just here around the airport area. I could go to him. We'll talk, devise strategies on how to build support in Legon.
You mean the late E.T. Mensah, the former sports minister?
Yes. And when I was to organize conferences, NDC conferences on the University of Ghana, and particularly on at that time that we were experiencing power outages by reason of the drying of the Akosombo. I mean, I just went, took the money, and then organized, and I didn't expect anything. And when
so what at the time, what was your motivation for?
Yes, I was just working for the party. I was just working for the party. Just party man.
That's all.
That's all. When
no job.
When Bill Clinton came to Ghana, I organized my students in the campus of the University of Ghana. Got E.T. Mensah to give us money. We hired buses, just put them in the buses, and we went to the Accra Independence Square and met, increased the numbers. When when Jerry wanted to contest the elections, we were part of those who marched the streets from Newtown to Jamestown. To say that Jerry cannot step aside, he should lead the party. But that was it. I never asked for a car. I never asked for a cheat. I never asked for my school fees to be paid. I just worked for the party. But it's different now.
Would you say that was would you say this was you, or this was the mindset of the generality of the masses who were following the party?
That's me.
That's
I mean,
you. So you
again, when we won, when Atta Mills won election 2009. 2009, I was not made anything. I was not given any position.
True.
And I didn't complain. I didn't say anything. I was just working. That time, Metro TV was at Labone. I was a regular feature with your predecessor, Famous.
Yeah, Famous. That's his way.
Yes. I never asked for anything. I never asked for anything.
It was just love for party.
Party work. I'm a party man. And now I'm not on any board. I'm not on anything, but I'm a party person. I believe in the NDC. I have confidence that the only party that can transform the fortunes of this country is NDC. And I'm not doing it because I want a reward. I'm doing it because my interest as a NDC member is subsumed to the collective interest of the party. And I believe by Ghana, and the history shows, in the northern region, how many secondary schools were there? By virtue of the educational reforms initiated by Jerry John Rawlings. Go there and see the number of secondary schools. We used to watch TV. The next day after Accra had their live coverage, the reels will be sent to Tamale in the northern region, then we'll see the next day. Papers, just graphic, Times and whatnot. We used to queue to buy Times the next day. But things changed. And it's my party that changed it. Built the political culture that we are now experiencing, made people conscious of their rights in a state like Ghana and their duties. I'm proud. I'm a proud member of the NDC. Are you saying, Honorable Innocent Hussaini, that yes, this should be the ideal situation, that when you decide to join a political party, don't expect anything? Is that what should be the norm? You join a political party because you think that the political party, when it wins power, will transform the lot of the people of the country, will bring prosperity. At least that's what the Constitution promises us, not so? Right. Prosperity and equality of opportunity. then my children should not suffer if they want to seek work. That the party should put in place policies that make hospitals, schools, roads available to all of us so that the country can develop. And ours is a social democratic party.
But even during your time.
Yes.
And you see, I'm happy that you're seeking for yourself.
So, no, I'm saying that
even during your time.
Yes.
I'm sure you had some colleagues who had expectations.
Well, you can have expectations.
Yes. Either you need a job,
you need a
contract.
I can
speak for everybody.
No. I can't fault anybody for having expectations. Okay. Expectations are expectations.
Right.
They are aspirations. Even our constitution, chapter 6, is aspirational. So we value aspiration. Directive principles of state policy is aspirational.
True.
So we value aspiration. So if somebody works for the party and has aspirations, why would I fault that person? I'm just saying that we must all learn to accept the fact that our interests as individuals is subsumed to the collective interest of the party. And that when we win power or we are in government, the resources of the state are divided or distributed in terms of appointment with guidance from the directive principles of state policy. Okay? And it's there in Article 36(5) of the Constitution.
Does this argument still hold? Does this argument still hold? If I believe.
Then let me.
Okay, when you're done. All right. Okay, please go ahead.
Gabriela says that in the next flag bearer elections,
flag bearer, yes,
you should. But we did it.
When?
When we were writing our manifesto, when we formed the committees, there was a committee on governance.
Okay. And what did he say?
That set a criteria.
What was the criteria?
I mean, the number, the votes that you will bring into the elections to determine what you get.
No.
The number of seats that you bring into the elections.
What is saying is, if you want to become a flag bearer of the NDC, tell us how you intend. What's going to be your formula for appointing people when you become president?
That's what the flag bearers appointment regime is guided by what the party says. And that what the party says is guided by the Constitution. Or you want me to read that one for you?
Educate us.
Oh, the Constitution.
We need that education. So essentially what you're saying is that whatever the flag bearer...
Of Ghana or the Constitution of Ghana?
The flag bearer's formula.
Yes. Article 35, not 36. Article 35.
Okay. So that formula should tie with the national constitution.
Just a minute. That talks about the...
I think you're not getting the point.
Wait.
No. If you want to lead a party, no, I'm saying what the Gabriela girl is saying. Is that
you
if you want to lead a party, what is in for us?
No.
That's essentially what she's saying.
First of all, if you had led the MPP, you would have been sponsored by the MPP.
I agree.
So you would have gone into the elections with an MPP manifesto.
I agree.
Not your manifesto.
I agree. I agree.
No.
I'm just trying to put it in bare language.
No, if you put it in bare language, you will be helping to mislead the people.
Well, but she is misleading the people. She's saying that
you remember. No.
What is in for us?
No. So I'm saying that the NDC did exactly that.
Okay.
You remember Liman's problems with Okutu.
Yeah.
Was not the same problem.
True.
So it's not new. So that's why the Constitution sought to address the issue.
Okay.
So it says that the state, and that's Article 35(5), the state shall actively promote the integration of the peoples of Ghana, and prohibit discrimination and prejudice on grounds of place of origin, circumstances of birth, ethnic origin, gender, religion, creed, and other beliefs. Article 35(6). To promote, towards the achievement of these objectives in clause 5 of this article, the state shall take appropriate measures to, and I'm reading B, achieve a reasonable regional and gender balance in the recruitment and appointment of public officers.
Yes.
So,
Now, but in achieving that regional balance,
yes,
what Gabriela is seeking to find out is this, that even in achieving that regional balance, and I'm going to read, you see, let me read it verbatim.
No, read it, you read it.
Verbatim.
Yes, read
okay.
it. Yes.
So, I just picked this one from her Facebook wall. She says, the next Congress, that's the NDC's Congress, should consider a new resolution for all aspiring flag bearers to provide us with a formula for their appointments. And this is a breakdown. What percentage is going to go to party people, party executives? Right? A percentage, party executives. What percentage is going to go for ordinary party members? What percentage is going to be given to friends and family? She wants to know. That flag bearer should come and tell her. Friends and family. And what percentage is going to the general public? And then she continues to say, and then percentage to other political parties, so that we can adjust how much of our time, energy, and resources we give to their dreams. Of course, the rest you don't need that, because she said, by the way, don't come under my post and blah blah. That you don't need. This is it. We've just put it up on our screens. Do you get what she's saying?
I get what she's saying.
She's not fighting what the constitutional aspirations are, but in doing so, how many of those regional ministers are going to be in ensuring regional balance? How many are going to party people, party executives, family and friends? She wants to know.
Then the first answer I have for her is that the appointments regime of the party is not determined exclusively by the flag bearer. That's the first thing.
How is it made? Tell me. Educate us.
When you elect your flag bearer, the next major activity after adoring your flag bearer is to come out with a manifesto, a covenant with the people of this country. And when we were doing ours, we did a bottom-up approach where President Muhammad told the whole country and engaged them on what their expectations were. That informed our what was contained in our manifesto. And I'm saying that there was a committee, governance committee, that was responsible for coming out with an appointment criteria in the event that we want power. How many people will get ministerial positions from the Volta region, from the northern region, from that also depended on how many votes that the region brought into the
But she doesn't want the after the fact determination.
I'm saying that you can't do that.
She wants the flag bearer. So when you're campaigning, you want to lead the NDC into the next elections. Listen to the thing. When you're going around the branches and so on,
Alaji has answered.
What she wants to know.
I don't know what she wants now.
What do you want him to say?
What she wants to know.
What do you want him to say?
As part of your campaign message, as an aspiring flag bearer, come and tell us that if you give me the nod to lead the NDC, I will make sure that if I'm going to appoint, say, 1,000 people, this percentage of the appointment will go to, say, party executives. This percentage will go to party members. This percentage will go to family and friends. This percentage will go to other political parties and so on. That she wants to know. So that that will inform who she votes for.
I'm saying that all that is within the context of Article 35(5). All that.
Does that answer her question?
It answers.
Tell Gabriela to join MPP. She'll get a better answer than another MPP. No, tell her, because in the MPP, you've had the 10 constituency, 10 appointments. That's what she wants to hear. Tell her to join the MPP. If she joins the MPP, she has a better answer.
Constituency 10 appointments.
Yes.
Constituency 10 appointments.
That is the kind of answer.
Constituency 10 appointments.
10 appointments.
Then no one should join the
MPP.
That. You know why? Because even now under NDC, some constituencies, or most constituencies, have more than 10 appointments.
And some have 0.
No, there's no zero constituency.
Oh, please.
No.
There are some that have zero.
Have we appointed a district chief executive?
But the main appointments we are talking about is not included in the local appointments. You see, that's the thing. The president makes over 7,000 appointments.
Why?
No, but the
You're taking
appointments.
I want him to land.
Okay, let him land. Okay, so you
so
let him
you're
land.
saying that Gabriela's question has already been answered. Has already been answered by the Constitution.
Let him join them.
Okay, so so you're still explaining to why you believe that the Constitution.
We have some appointments that are from the constituencies that are part of government and that are performing functions for the state.
Okay.
I mean, perform duties for the state. So there's an elaborate program within the NDC, and I won't disclose it now because I see that he's on a voyage of discovery to see how we did it.
Does that formula that you're talking about includes?
How many ambassadors you get even for a region?
No, family and friends. Does that include? Does that capture that? Because she wants to know.
Does any president appoint an enemy into office?
No, of course not.
So why are you talking about family and friends?
Okay.
The nearest a president came to appointing his rivals into office was Abraham Lincoln, a team of rivals.
Right.
Yes. So, but no president appoints his enemies. If you had won the primaries of the MPP, you appoint your enemies. No. Loyalty is very important in governance,
especially your inner circle.
Yes, it's very important.
Okay. So back to the issue we were raising earlier that you use yourself as a personal.
So you invited me to talk about my personal, but I admit that things have changed.
Things have changed.
I admit things have changed.
Is it for the good or for bad?
People now look more to their interests.
Okay.
What is in this for me? If I do this, what am I going to get?
Right.
But at that time that we were doing it, probably because I started as a low-level PNDC member or a PDC member, that culture of being working for the collective than for self probably have defined me. Okay? And I feel okay. And I just feel happy working for my party. Because we've come a very long way. Very, very long way. And if you go back and look at those who started the revolution and how they ended, you see clearly that they were not working for any personal aggrandizement. Clearly. I mean, stories are told by the former, those who started the whole process of wearing a watch like I'm wearing, but this one is a Ghana watch, caveman. And then Jerry will see it and invite you to come and meet him. And you go there and you say, what watch are you wearing? And then says, how did you get the watch?
Right.
And so they would do it. You could not even wear designer clothes at that time. But things have moved on. You know the first cars that they bought for members of parliament? You remember?
Yeah.
They were second-hand cars.
Were they Peugeots?
No, the Peugeots were the Liman time.
The Liman time. Okay.
This one was they gave them 5,000 to go and buy second-hand cars.
Yeah.
Okay, 5,000 cedis at that time. To go and buy second-hand cars. So things have changed. Nobody is now using a second-hand car. In fact, almost all members of parliament are using 4x4. So things have changed. So I'm acknowledging the change, but I'm saying that it behooves on every member of the party to subsume his personal interests under the collective interest. The party will work to meet the reasonable and legitimate expectations of all members of the party.
But whilst doing that, Honorable, whilst doing that, I'll come to you, Gojo, sorry. But whilst doing that...
Then you talk about sponsorship.
Yes. So that's what I was headed. Whilst doing that...
And Julius Debra.
The party members are saying that, yes, some of them are saying, yeah, we can wait for you to meet our expectations. But whilst we're waiting, we don't want to see or witness a situation where persons who were against us or did not wish us well to be supported by the government That's where they have a problem.
Yes, they have.
Is that a legitimate?
It's legitimate.
Okay.
Because it demoralizes the base. That's why sometimes when you are going to make such appointments, you don't let them, or engagements, you don't make them look too visible. But while you want to promote the cohesion and inclusiveness, and especially people who were sitting on the fence, you don't want to give them positions that make them too visible. Because, again, it's a political party. And so when you make them too visible, it demoralizes the base. I mean, you can't rule out competition. Then somebody sees that, well, he invested a lot of time, effort, and resources into procuring a win for the party. And he's seeing somebody who was just minding his own business. Yeah, but people contribute to the party in various ways and different ways. And so when appointments are being given, you will want, yes, they could get appointments, but you don't make them too visible to demoralize your base.
Okay.
So that is it.
Right.
Yes, Julius, and my good friend, Julius Deborah is my good friend. We've come a long way.
Okay.
Somehow in our political trajectory, we were almost crisscrossing. So it's true. I mean, we come from families, we come from communities, and when we were growing up, we never knew that our destinies will take us into politics.
Right.
So we made friends, not based on political parties. When Julius was in Achimota, he was not a politician, he was a student.
Right.
And so his relationship was defined by his status as a student.
Right.
Now, again, that will call for some level of discretion if you finally get into politics and then you are occupying a very important position. You cannot be seen to be hobnobbing with people who are no, you cannot be seen to do that. Yes, even though you have those relationships. I have one. I mean, my body was in MPP. Body. Okay? I mean, we call each other, I mean, we speak. But there is an unwritten rule between us. We never discuss politics.
Okay.
And I never seek to, I mean, when the MPP was in power, and it's MPP, and I never sought to exploit the relationship between me and him when the government was in power. But we met constantly. We spoke about our family. We spoke about our trajectories, how we were going to develop ourselves. I mean, there were many things we spoke about, but not politics. And now that we are in power, he's not made any attempts to get me to extend party largesse or favors, or get him introduced to people who will extend some favors to him. Our friendship is a friendship built on mutual understanding and mutual respect, and not, I mean, if you want, getting rent from our relationship as politicians.
Okay.
No, that is, so I understand, Julius, but you cannot be seen to, as a chief of staff, to be seen to be hobnobbing with the son of Kufuor.
Or else recently described as a traitor.
A traitor. You cannot be seen to be doing that. Let me tell you my personal story again. When I left Parliament, the committee that was set up by the Chairman Sebonsu to do the constitutional review, Chairman Sebonsu said, well, when I was in Parliament as a ranking member of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, he saw some understanding of the constitutional provisions in me and my approach to talk, interpreting the Constitution and implementing some of his provisions. And he believed that in that sense, I knew or appreciated some of the things in the Constitution that ought to be what? To be changed. He invited me to be part of the committee to do the constitutional review that he was doing. I had difficulty. I mean, it was all over the place that I was working for Chairman Sibonsu. Yes. So you have to be second. Even in situations where you are just making your expertise available to the whole country through an office that is not aligned with your party, it creates problems for you. It creates problems for you. So these are things that, and so in sharing, you must understand how people feel. I actually felt that I should have kept my expertise to myself and not. But I've been the better for it. I've benefited tremendously because I not only had the opportunity to review the committee established by Professor J.E. Atta-Mills to review the Constitution. I had the tremendous opportunity to interact with distinguished members of the committee, Constitution Review Consultative Committee, led by Clara T. Distinguished. You know, and my understanding of the Constitution was further broadened by that interaction. And then when the CHC, I mean, the Constitution Review, CRC, that President Mahama recommended, I had opportunity to appear before them. And in advocating what I thought could be changes, I mean, I believe that the Prempeh Committee appreciated my position. So there are difficulties.
Yeah,
last one.
Finally, which one is that?
The gold.
Oh, yes, I'll come to you. But there are people who also feel that there's remote
and
immediate cause.
Yes.
Now the remote cause, as some have suggested. In fact, I was having a conversation with Kojo Safwa off air before we started this, and the thinking is that the reason why this gold ball jewelry matter and the sponsorship and how the party base has reacted to it has all come up because in the last 1 year or so, or let me put it this way, that the NDC has been in power for a while, and with a year and a few months. But there is the complaints about people not get, of course, we're talking about the reality of our times, not what used to be the case with the situation during your time. You know, there's a lot of complaints about people not getting jobs, people not getting businesses to do, and appointees are not answering calls, they're not responding to WhatsApp messages, and they'll tell you that these are people we're in the trenches with. And I've been trying to call them for the past 1 month, they're not picking their calls. There was a guy whose video I was watching yesterday. He says he's been trying to reach Hannah Bisu, and that he is very close with Hannah Bisu. For some reason, Hannah Bisu is not picking her calls, and he's been complaining very bitterly. And he says that it would take something extraordinary for him to campaign for the NDC again, because as far as he's concerned, he feels he's been used and dumped. Now, for some people, this is the background, and so it gets people easily riled up when they get a certain feeling that, oh, whilst I am hoping that something will come my way, others who did not do anything have been rewarded, and I'm using the word reward here in quotes. You have been in government's office before. I mean, maybe Lands and Natural Resources, you've been there as Roads and Highways, and sometimes I see the long queues in your office. I mean, is there something that the appointees of today perhaps are not getting, or it is the rank and file of the party who are just being unreasonable? And I'm sure you've had calls too.
Do you have missed calls on your phone?
I do have missed calls.
What is missed call?
Somebody's called me and I couldn't answer. But I call back.
The one complaining, does he have missed calls?
Well, I'm sure they do.
Yes.
Yeah, but return the person's call.
No, what I'm saying is that if you have a missed call, simply means that the person you called could not pick your call at the time that you called.
What if it was deliberate?
How do you know that it's deliberate?
Especially when there's a certain pattern. Several times
so one day I was campaigning and I gave my phone to somebody to hold. And the calls kept coming, Then after that, after I finished engaging with the constituency, I was in Tamale. He said, oh, you have received a lot of calls. And I said, why didn't you answer? I said, but that's not my phone. But you see, the person who called did not know that somebody was holding my phone. Did he? He didn't know. And they also did not know that at the time that he was calling, I couldn't pick the call. So you ought to have answered to tell that person that, oh, he's engaged, so he'll call you back.
So return it.
So the second thing was that late Atta Mills, he had called me, Deputy Minister of Energy. I took my car, rushed to the custom. Just upon entering his office, my phone started ringing. As a minister, they didn't take my phone at the security checkpoint. My phone started ringing. It rang once, I put it off. It rang again, I put it off. Then Atta Mills laughed, the president laughed and said, sir, pick your call. Pick the call. So he gave me permission. If he had not given me permission, I don't see how I would have brought myself to picking the call before the president of the country as a deputy minister. So they are also facing tremendous difficulties. And I'm just sharing my own experiences with you. All of us, even the person complaining, has missed calls. Has missed calls.
I see.
Now, the last thing is simple. Gold Board has been established because we want to get the maximum benefit out of our natural resources. In fact, we are exercising complete sovereignty over mineral resources won in the small-scale mining sector. Complete. And that is consistent with the United Nations resolutions and also our determination as a country to use our gold to catalyze our own development. Now we are lucky that we have gotten a young man who has also that vision, consistent with the African mining vision, that gold is our money, which manifests itself in the form of a mineral that is as good as having money. That he will aggregate all the gold and ensure that no other establishment deals with the gold except that board. And for 1 year, 3 months now, the government of the Republic has not traveled out looking for money or a loan to develop this country.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for his brilliant idea.
Well, I told you last week, Saturday, that I now know where the gold for reserves came from. I told you.
Well, that's
you
fine.
wanted to...
But that's fine. But at least you know that everything is inspired by something.
So I now know. I now know. I told you last
Saturday. As long as
I don't want to repeat it.
You will now give the credit where credit is due and mention.
I don't want to repeat it. You say when people. Oh, it's my brother.
Yes,
Again, let me tell you. So you look at Bawumia. I sat in the same class with his senior brothers.
Okay.
2 of his senior brothers.
Right.
Once upon a time in my life, I was living in his. I was rearing rabbits in his father's house.
Okay. There you go.
In Tamale. Bawumia used to come to my house with his senior brother, Baba, who was nicknamed Totos.
Okay.
But I'm not in his party.
Yeah.
I know.
But there's a relationship.
There's a relationship.
Okay.
And I have never made any attempt when he was vice president to go and see him for anything.
Okay.
In fact, when we were in power and I was Rose Minister, I visited his late mother in Walwale just to say thank you for taking care of me.
Okay.
Okay? So, but I never demanded any largesse or any favors from him. I never.
That's fine.
Good. So this young man is doing things that will put our gold on a sound pedestal.
Okay.
And bring us returns that can benefit the whole nation. We have raked in about $10 billion from his activities. He's saying that, even the aggregation of the gold and selling of the bars should not be the only thing that establishments should be doing.
Okay.
We should add value. When we add value to our gold, we can potentially earn 5 times of what we are sending out as raw gold. And so that is what it's doing. Now, how many people know that we are adding value to our gold? How many people know that we are producing jewelry? So, even though he's issued a report that they never sponsored the event, their presence there was to advertise what they were doing. And what better place to do that than in a meeting of women of valor who probably have money to spend on jewelry. What I mean, thinking commercially, what better way? The fact is that they did not give money to the organizers to organize the event. But I have no doubt that their presence over there further advertised, brought to the people and that community of women the exquisite jewelries that Gold Board was producing. And that if we were sourcing their jewelry at other places, in Dubai, India, and other places, they could not look to Gold Board to source their jewelry. So, if you talk about the commercial sense, it made tremendous sense to send to exhibit our jewelry there, and also even to give them discount, because if they bought the jewelry at discount and wear same, they will still be advertising the exquisite nature of the jewelry that we were producing in this country. And the benefits, the overall benefits, come to Ghana. Because I told you, if you export raw gold, you get a certain amount. You get money, and we've gotten a lot of money. If you add value to that gold, you will get not less than 5 times what you export as raw gold.
So it's bottom what to do with a clash between commercial, you can call it a commercial wisdom as against political wisdom.
You've written a book.
Or expedient, don't put it that way.
So are you asking a question?
No, I'm saying that's what I see.
Yeah, you've written a book, and students are having a fair.
Yes.
There's a whole week celebration at the University of Ghana or University of University of Science and Technology, or any university in this country.
Okay.
And the organizer of the fair is a known critic of a position that you hold.
Yeah.
And because of that, you are not going to advertise your book over there. You won't send the book over there to make it available to students to buy, to enrich their knowledge about the subject matter. And also bring you some returns. You won't do that.
But that tells you how divisive our politics.
Yes, that's the partisanship.
Yeah.
That's the partisanship.
That's the reality of our time.
When I saw this, I said, what is this about?
I'm a
rice farmer. So and I produce my own rice. And I'm an NDC person. Everybody in the area that I farm, even that area is predominantly MPP, but everybody there knows that I'm NDC. The people, in fact, gave me the land to farm, and they are not NDC.
Okay.
Now, that's number one. Number two, so if I harvest my rice, and there's a rice miller who is MPP, comes to buy my rice, I should say that I won't sell the rice.
Okay. Let's bring in Kojo now. I think that.
Well, I hope you give me 45 minutes to speak. As long as my senior brother has spoken for 45 minutes, I hope also get to speak. And then address some of the concerns that your lady in the Sotium. What's that constituency again?
What's the name? That's
Senya something.
Something East.
Yes, Senya something East. Our address. She should join.
Ewutu Senya East.
Ewutu Senya.
Yes,
she joined.
Gabriela. In fact, she sent me a message. She's watching us.
So she's joining MPP.
Yes, she's watched.
She said she's joining.
Well, she's not responded to that.
Well, that's fine.
So
the most important thing that
she's basically shed some more light on what she.
But the point is, look, what everybody wants to know is what is in for them. And that is why, as part of MPP's strategy, something that my brother said that I wanted to clarify is that there are constituency-based, district-based appointments, which is the DCs and those things. What we propose is not part, because the president makes about 7,000 national appointments. That is minus the DCs and all the other district-based appointments. That is not included. What Dr. Bawumia has proposed is that the 7,000 appointments that he has at his disposal, he will be looking at every constituency to give them 10. Because what you see is that there are instances where some constituencies don't get any appointment at all. The MP is the only one who is there. And if the MP doesn't get a board, he doesn't even get anything in that constituency. So what you have is that if you make 3,000 out of the 7,000 appointments available to the constituencies, then 10, you start off with 10 per constituency, which is 276 constituencies. So at least every constituency will get 10, 202,760. Then the rest, you can now also cushion it with here and there. But that is a policy that I think is very innovative. And I think Gabriela is looking for something like that. So that solution exists in the MPP. So you'll be happy if she now comes into MPP and enjoy some of these things for her constituency. I'm sure in her constituency, apart from her, there are no other appointments from the national, right? But let's address the problems that you put on the table.
Right.
One is the base of the party wanting their pound of flesh for the work they do. Look, my brother, and I've always said that in the olden days, there was a struggle. There was a freedom fight. There was struggle for something. And the young people were happy to be part of it. Right. Because imagine in my brother's days, he was a young person in school, and he had the opportunity to be part of something Jerry John. I mean, I'm sure he'll be the envy of all the people. Because if even Jerry John comes into the community and knows Honorable Fuseini and even talks to him, he'll be the catch. Right. You understand? So the zeal is different. Because there was a fight for something. In their days, it was a revolutionary fight and all the things that the NDC and the PNDC stands for. In the MPP time, the UP tradition, there was all the fight of, okay, we've been oppressed, we are fighting in Nkrumah, we are fighting this, and that. So that fight galvanized a lot of people for a cause. Now, the minute that cause is achieved and MPP, the UP tradition, came into power for the first time under President Kufuor, people still had that ambition of greater good. But then you realize that the base have seen 8 years of President Kufuor. Some people who didn't have a pot to piss in now have everything, right? And their life has gotten ahead, and they are still where they are. Then we go back into opposition. Then people go back into the struggle. We want to come back into power. Then we had opportunity to come back in 2016. Then 2017, President Nana Addo is sworn in. Then for 8 years, some people again who didn't have a pot to piss in, their life gets ahead. Their masses still looks on, and some of them who have been part of this struggle at the base from 92 till today, nothing. They're still where they are, probably at retirement or near retirement, but their life has not changed. Though the party he or she has fought dearly for has been in power for 16 years in Zurich. So then, the kids of these people look on their fathers and their uncles and their aunts and say, look, I am not going to go into politics for the same zeal you went in for. What is in for me? Because I want my life to be different. People are seeing the likes of, I don't want to mention names, but we all know the likes of people that because of politics are all now in limelight, and when they come back into the constituencies, they are in Land Cruisers. When Honorable gets off the Land Cruiser, the engine is on and the windows are sweating.
And the number of properties that they put up.
Well, the number of properties they put up, when they come, there's one guy who nearly got lynched in Kumasi. A guy that's in the local bar, you sometimes buy and some people have to pay for you and all that. Sometimes you leave without paying. Then this guy showed up from nowhere with a Land Cruiser and now offered to buy everybody's drink. People told him to get the hell out of here. You know, what kind of rubbish is that? Why do we work for you? We can buy our own drinks.
He's a big man now.
Oh, who cares? Yeah. You understand? But that's an example of the affluence and the stuff that people do. That now makes these people that has resulted in the change of times. I'm told by an elderly person in Tamale when I went around with some of the chairman's house and said, look, back in the day, for you to be given the posters and the t-shirts of a party was a big thing. He said, look, he says, yes, you are the one.
Was gratified.
Yes, you are the one that you've been entrusted to put up posters and t-shirts to distribute. It's
but you just
in 2000. Let me count. Maybe Oberasama is listening. In 2009 or 10 thereabouts, just as an indiscreet member of the party, I was invited by the chairman then, Oberasama, to ferry the money for training party agents from Accra to Tamale. I was not executive. I was not holding. I was just a former. I was not even an MP. That's before 2010. I was not even a former MP or MP. Now, you know, that time there were no aircrafts. Or
you have to go by road.
I had to go by road. And you know, I was living in Nima. I told you 2 days ago. Yeah. I was living in Nima. I carried the money, the risk. I carried it to my room in Nima. 4 o'clock, I got up, took a taxi to the transport yard and loaded the money into the transport. You know that the boots were under the boots.
Yes.
Carried it to Tamale, called the secretary, Alhaji Sumaila, Jomara. He came to my room in Tamale and I handed the money over to him. It was gratifying.
You understand? So those are some
and when the party won election, I was not even in a position. I didn't have a problem.
But his demeanor
I was even told that I'm a victim of my own success. But that was okay. But when the time came for them to give me an appointment, I didn't lobby anybody. I was in Belgium doing my work. Then my driver called me. They have been given a position as Deputy Minister of Energy. I didn't go to anybody.
See? So those are, like you said, those are the things that were gratifying back in the day. But today it has changed. So when the base is now in opposition, what you feed the base, I was telling you this earlier, we make a lot of pronouncements that give the base the sense that when your party comes into power, you are rich overnight, or your life will be better.
But he makes a very interesting point. You remember the Samuel Ofusampofu's campaign message when he was contesting an syndicate? NCNC. Yes. He says no contribution, no job.
Yes.
And the base were
excited
about
it.
Yes,
but that's okay. Don't even go further. When there was a video of the NDC, I don't know who it was, he was speaking, and President Muhammad said in there, and he said, this time we'll not make a mistake. When we come, these are the people that we are working with. Do you remember the video?
Yes.
Thank you. So now
and I can also tell you that when the Nima Gata was being constructed, there was one guy, Baba, very active in Newtown. Okay. Baba, he composed a song. When we finish, I will sing the song to you.
That's the 90s.
The 90s. You know what? We're in the big meeting, with the Yahya Chambers, all in Nima. I mean, in Alhaji Nobel's house. He got up and said, please, when will our party do the Nima Gata? Alhaji Hudu Yahya and Chambers stood up and clapped for him. He didn't say,
instead of what will the party do for me?
The Nima Gata.
But now that's changed. So let's move on to the conversation with the gold.
Our current realities.
Right,
yes.
The current reality.
Okay.
So you give all this hope to the youth. Then they come in and they see some people that have spoken anti-NDC and spoken against the success of the party and spoken against the flag bearer at the time, now president, right? And they see that certain institutions within the government is sponsoring these activities. They will be upset. Because they feel that money, though no Kobibio that you gave.
No, they said they didn't give it a dime.
Well, look, I don't believe that.
Oh, why?
I don't. Please.
But haven't you seen an official statement?
No, let's not. You see, please, let's not go.
There's an official statement.
Let's not go there, please. People were flown in. There were tickets that were spent. Nobody can tell me that no money was spent.
But there are other sponsors.
Doesn't matter. That other sponsors didn't give money. You are a sponsor.
There was even a headline sponsor.
Hold on. They are sponsors.
There
Do you
was
think,
a headline
why?
sponsor.
How are you a sponsor? Yes. You're a sponsor. There are different types of sponsors. There are gold, silver, and bronze. Yes. There are different types of sponsoring, right? You would give something. It might not necessarily mean that you took cash and gave them, but you might have paid for something. You might have done something. Like my brother said, look, there is a commercial benefit. For you to come and deny and say that I didn't give any money, what the case you should make is, like Honorable said, there is a commercial benefit to the sponsorship. You are displaying your jewelry in Woman of Valor, elegant environment to showcase, and if you do get commercial activities, you've made money. So there is a case. There is exactly. So there is a commercial case to be made to it, but to come and exactly. So for you to say that I didn't, for me, I don't buy it.
It's a red herring.
I don't know, but I don't buy it because sponsorship. Look, there is no sponsorship that comes for free.
Okay.
Something, there should be a barter.
All right.
Right? So for me, that's what it is.
Okay.
The issue of the NDC base is what they've been promised and what they are not getting. 133, where is it? Right? 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. Nobody's seen it. We have been told that there is a committee that has been sent. The one thing I saw on social media I was so excited is that even the 24-hour economy secretariat, 24-hour to the secretariat works till 5.
No, the
24-hour secretariat, but by the law, it's been made into law. President Mahama have signed it into law. Well, but that's the thing. The 24-hour secretariat works till 5.
So Kusitano should not sleep.
I don't know, but well, when you came at 24 hours, do you think there was a sleeping? You said 1 job, so Kusitano should have 3 people working with him. Yeah, what are you talking about? There should be 2 people who will have jobs with Kusitano, so that there will be what? 133. So the point of the matter is that the base is disappointed. I gave you an example. When politicians make pronouncements, the reason there is a pushback is when the base feel that they are not getting what they have been promised. And it's not only on that. Now, let's go to the Anita Disoso issue.
Yeah.
I think people should really get a sense of what a board is. There are grades of boards. One of the things that the MPP government did was to basically cap board fees and certain allowances. So you are in Group A, I think it's like just a little over 2,500 or 2,400. Group B is about 1,004 or something. I don't know if this has been increased, but as I know it, as at 2001, right? Group C is much lower. When you do a certain allowance for a subcommittee, right? If you're on a committee of the board, then you sit, it's about 780 cedis. And all this money, after they take the withholding tax, is much even lesser. So when you think that you are Anita Disoso and you're going sitting on the board, I don't think it is a place where you need to get money to feed your base or get money to feed your people following you. No. That board sitting, there's a sitting allowance that you get. So if you think you have people that follow you and you have people that works for you, board sitting is where you go and serve your country. It's not there to go and make money to feed the people that follow you. And a lot of people have a misconception of boards. A lot of people think that boards are places where you go to get rich. Even the CEO is not supposed to get rich off his position. How much more you, a board member, let alone maybe a board chairman? So that misconception is that my party is in power, I need to get rich soon. And for me, whatever is going on social media, whatever the blowback is for the NDC, is for NDC to deal with.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly don't think that that issue should be a concern to anybody except that both parties, I think the MPP should have learned what the NDC should have learned what the MPP went through.
Okay.
And now that they are in power, they should have found a much better way to deal with it than the way it's being dealt with now.
It's being dealt with well.
Why? Sure.
Yes. So I just told you my personal story. I was put on a board and I was taking less than 300 Ghana cedis. NIB board. At that time, the NIB had been run down during the previous administration, Kufuor's administration. It was almost going for liquidation. And when we elected that, we were not going to take money. I mean, we were not anything substantial. Then, so while serving on the board, and I served on the board for 1.5 years, And I was happy. I mean, I went back to Tamale and said, well, the party had recognized me. They have put me on the NIB board. Yeah, but what happens is that the party, the party did not forget. I'm just telling Anita, the party did not forget about me. So when the time came for them to move me a grade higher, they did.
Right. For your sacrifices.
For my sacrifices. So the fact that Anita is on Population Council
This is your former National Women's Organization.
Yes.
The former vice chair. So she's coming from...
I conducted the elections for her to be the women organizer.
Oh, really?
But I was not made I was not given a position.
Okay. There you go.
I was a member of the vetting committee.
All right. Let me read this. Let me read this from Gabriela.
I don't know how to say.
So Gabriela has sent us a message.
Okay.
She sent us a message.
She's joined NPP.
She's been watching, so she sent us a message.
Gabriela.
No,
let me finish.
Okay.
So Anita, exercise patience.
Okay.
Maybe your position on the Population Council board will be a stepping stone towards a higher.
Okay.
And the party stays in power for long.
Okay.
The aspirations of many people will be delivered.
All right.
Which will be very disappointing because they will stay in power for 4 years.
So Gabriela Teta says that, good morning, gentlemen, and good morning, Moro. My post was not about the appointment criteria. Neither have I gone chasing anyone for appointment. The fact is that for a long period of time, beyond this administration and party faithfuls who work for the party have the same complaints about how much they put in and what they see around them. Now, there are constituencies where the only appointment is the DCE and the government appointees at assembly, while others have that set and other appointees managing agencies and ministries. So the sharing criteria is not even equal. Now, the spirit behind my post answers to two things. One, a transparent formula to let the people who work to bring the party to government know how allocation is done fairly. Two, people who make those crass sacrifices know that people from other parties and those who sat on the fence are not prioritized by virtue of godfatherism and proximity to power and influence. My post was triggered by an appointment of MPP activists, not even sponsorship. Then she continues, no flag bearer on his own can win an election in this country without the strength and organization of the party. The argument about criteria, the NDC as an organization has a database of all its executives and members from branch to national and their qualifications. A very rich database. But of course, a government can't also fill itself with 100% party faithfuls because of some specific needs that may exist. And hence, back to the point I made on allocation in percentage. Now, she says that, okay. Now, I said the district that Kojo is talking about are occupied by former government appointees, and the NDC can't clear them, you know, and there's some constituencies you don't have an MP, and she's trying to explain something, but not too clear about it.
I agree with what she said. The appointment, I said that in the district, some appointments are made by the president.
All right.
But what she's trying to refer to is that when you come in, some of the appointments are being occupied by former government appointees, and you can't just clear them.
Right.
So it is also limits the number of people that can be appointed within the district.
Okay. All right. So let me look at these other messages. Now, Papa Bisu says that on the issue of internal wrangling, I can only ask this question: whom are the appointees having business discussions with? It seems the MPP guys are really having a field day. Fact is, they should try and look at our direction small for us to equally invest in some businesses. Anyway, today the national chairman is coming to our constituency, hence I will pause here. Papa Bisu from Spintex sends that message. Now, Eben sends me a video. There's a viewer who sends me a video where John Mahama's flag bearer was saying that if we win power, we'll recruit only the children of our NDC branch executives into the Ghana Police, and he's sent me this video for me to look at. He says, good morning, my name is Eben from Kwabinya. Listen to the president's voice at the campaign and let's ask ourselves if the branch executives have seen this promise materialize. Samuel Brian Boabin says, Moro, why are the NDC field soldiers attacking Gertrude MFA Donko, managing director of Goldboard Jewelry, for partnering with Avenopemo, Ghislaine Maxwell, and her friends to offer discounts on jewelry purchases to participants in the events as part of the ongoing Ghana Heritage Month promotion. Meanwhile, the traitor NPP appointee Yvonne Nana Efriye Opari continues to serve as managing director of Ghana Airports Company Limited. Just how many foot soldiers has she brought in since the NDC returned to power? It even shocks the devil. Those foot soldiers should channel their energies elsewhere and leave this young woman alone. Samuel Brand Boabin says that message. Now, this one here from Reverend Jones Latte, who watches us from the UK, says that Gabriela's request is unreasonable and would be suicidal for all for all would-be flag-bearer candidates, it is best to keep who to appoint a secret weapon. And he says gold board monopoly is illegal in the UK and in the EU. Now, Makojo Boafo, he's a regular viewer of the show, one of the intelligent and brilliant chaps who sends in messages into the show from time to time. Now, since Alhaji Yunus Hussaini says he's working for the party, he has said that about 12 times. Has he forgotten that he's been a minister before? The queue is long and he will have to start from the back row. The NDC is full of knowledgeable people that should be brought to the limelight to work for the party, including the grassroots members. And he says, okay, so that's Makojo Boafo from the USA. Now, this one here says that, so the board chair of a DVLA, George Spencer Quay, he sent me a very long one. I don't know how I'm going to read all of this, but he says that in the past 24 hours, I've taken note of the concerns expressed by many grassroots members and supporters of the NDC regarding the sponsorship of Women of Valor event by Gold Board Jewelry. Let me begin by saying this clearly. The concerns of our party faithfuls are valid and deserve to be heard. The NDC is a movement built on the strength, sacrifice and loyalty of our grassroots, from the polling stations to the constituencies. It was their dedication that helped return His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC to power in 2024. No government formed by the NDC can ever afford to forget that. Now, at the same time, governance requires a maturity that embraces diverse voices, including those who may have been critical of us in the past. Democracy thrives when criticism is allowed to exist as a check on power. In fact, constructive criticism often pushes public officials to work harder, think deeper, and serve better. That said, I also understand why some comrades feel slighted and uneasy about the optics of this particular sponsorship. Perception matters in politics, and when our lawyers' supporters feel overlooked or disrespected, we must take that feedback seriously. Now, if this decision has caused hurt or disappointment among members of our grassroots family, then it is only right that we acknowledge that sentiment with humility. For that, we sincerely regret the discomfort it may have caused. However, I want to assure every NDC member across the country that this government will not leave these people behind. The grassroots will carry the banner of the party through difficult moments, remain at the heart of this administration's thinking. Their sacrifices will not be forgotten and their voices will continue to shape our decisions. Let us also remember that the work before us is much bigger than any single event or moment. Under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama, this administration is committed to resetting the country's direction and restoring hope to Ghanaians. That journey will not be perfect. Along the way, there will inevitably be a few missteps. But when this occurs, we must remain open to correction and committed to improvement. The strength of the NDC has always been its ability to listen, adjust, and move forward together. Our focus remains clear: rebuilding the economy, restoring dignity in governance, and putting Ghana family back on the path of shared prosperity and opportunities for all. To our grassroots supporters, I say with sincerity, we hear you, we value you, and we remain accountable to you. Together, we will not only win elections, we'll build the Ghana we all believe in. It says, your comrade, your brother, your friend. And that's George Spencer Quay.
Does that job work and everything include him sending people abroad to renew people's licenses?
That hasn't happened yet.
Well, why would he propose such a thing? He should send a message to reply to that one. Is it part of the work he was sent there to do? Is he sending NDC grassroots people to Belgium to renew people's licenses?
I'm his uncle.
Oh, yeah, his uncle. Okay. It says, Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Truth be told, internal wrangling in NDC is happening simply because some people in positions have decided to treat others unfairly. And the earlier something is done about it, the better. I have no problem with members who work hard for the party to be given positions, but my check considers who knows nothing about the party are now those enjoying in the party. Moro, I was one chairman of the Sierra Callers then, and members get together in my house as early as 6 a.m. for us to plan for the day. Some of our ministers don't even pick our calls. And when you visit them, you will be asked whether you have an appointment with the minister, and if you say no, you are sacked. The saddest part is that you'll be sacked from the office as if you have nothing. We contribute in support of the party, defend the party with our own money, used to buy data for that, and no one even appreciates us for that. It is sad. 2028 will be very, very interesting. Hey, Hamza.
Tell Alhaji Hamza that the chairman of DVLA will add him to the people going around out there, Belgium and the London to renew licenses. You come into power to waste our money on renewing licenses.
Let me end with this. I've got, look, the messages are many, but I can't read all. Sir Obama Pokwasi says that the fact is there are these so-called women of something are nothing but glorified opportunities whose champagne lifestyles are funded by politicians. Their modus operandi have always been to strategically align themselves with the top echelons of the political class, holding themselves as some influencers of a sort, when in reality they carry little to zero positive influence. I have no sympathy for the protagonists on the chopping board today, because they did the same thing under the Etswa government. They were all over appointees of that regime, jumping from one office to the other, collecting big fat envelopes at the expense of party foot soldiers. And just when they realized things were about to go south in 2024, they jumped ship, realigned with their friends on the other side, and started firing salvos onto the pitch, ostensibly with the hope of gaining favor when the tables turn. Now, even the likes of Professor Audrey Gadzekpo, Professor Elsie Kaufman of NSMQ fame and co. are not rubbing it in our faces, despite the excellent professional achievements. Make our ears women of valor. What's been their contribution to national development? Ponder over this. Do you honestly think those luxurious cars they drive, plush homes they live in, etc., all from the salaries and allowances they receive from practicing journalism? For me, NDC foot soldiers have every reason to go after them. They should do everything possible to spoil their market, as we say in our local parlance. All right. So I guess that we'd have to move on. We'd have to move on.
We are moving on, but I think the chairman for DBLA should come again. I mean, that thing, he should come again, because he's seen the grassroots anger.
It's been put on hold.
But why did he even sit in a board meeting for them to approve that thing? That you are going to go to abroad to renew people's licenses for them.
Okay. Hey, it's been put on hold. It's been put on hold. So I want us to, gentlemen, I want us to look at what's happening in the Middle East, because it has a cascading effect, in fact, a direct impact on us. I mean, especially when it comes to fuel. There are other ramifications, but I want us to look at the economics of things. Now, we all know that we've seen the U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iran and the death of his soul rest in peace, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and they talk about the fact that it will affect Ghana's economy, energy cost, diplomacy, and also national security. There are all kinds of consequences or ramifications or implications of this Middle East crisis. At some point, the conflict got heightened. Just this morning on BBC, we're told that things are beginning to de-escalate. We've heard Donald Trump say that sooner rather than later, he's going to pull out of this conflict. He believes that he has achieved his objective. We still are not clear what the objectives are, because initially he talked about regime change. But we do know that the son of Ayatollah is now the new, he's called Mushtahab Khamenei. He's now the man in charge. So the regime is still there. We also know that the Iranians have said that they would determine when the war ends, because they will still continue to bombard some of the, what they call the proxy, the axis of proxy. I don't know, that's a term that they use. But it's the Bahrains and the Qatars and so on, and the UAE and the Saudi Arabians. They'll continue to bombard them. So it appears that Iran is not stopping anytime soon. Now, we also do know that the Strait of Hormuz, which is basically the main lane that a lot of these ships that carry oil, 20% of the world oil production passes to sort of discharge oil and so on. Now, we're told that it has caused the biggest oil supply disruption in history, according to Rapidan Energy, where 20% of global supply has been disrupted for 9 days, more than double the previous record set during the Suez Crisis of 1956. There is virtually no spare capacity to address the problem, because Saudi Arabia and UAE are cutting off from the global oil market, and that's the latest. In fact, the other latest is that oil is now hovering around some $85, dollars per barrel. $85. Yes, 85. That's the 98. Latest. No, it's 85.
When?
When? I think I saw that. I saw that much earlier.
No, this morning. 98.
This morning, yeah, that's before you came. Yeah, it's dropped to about 85. Price of crude oil. I can check this, no problem at all, because I saw 85. In fact, it was the MPA. The MPA boss actually posted on his Facebook wall this morning, and it's not difficult to check. My production team will cross-check that.
No, 92. Brent
is it still 92?
92. Brent is 91, 92. Yes, it's come down by 7%. But
so it's 92.
Yes, 91, 91.93 as at the trading now.
Oh, okay, all right. So, but it's come down, because it went as far as 117.
Yes.
So it's come down to 92, which is this come down. Of course, locally, we've seen, of course, the politics have kicked in, where it appears that some members of your party, I won't say everybody, some members of your party are hoping that things get worse.
It's not true. Nobody hopes anything gets worse. No, don't make that statement.
Hold on. I'm saying some members of your party.
Nobody hopes anything
gets worse.
Okay,
when I'm done.
An eventuality is an eventuality.
Yes.
Nobody hopes something gets worse.
And the reason is simple. Because it is back to this whole issue about external factors and the extent to which it hits our economy.
Yeah, but that is a natural progression. So don't say somebody hopes it gets worse.
Hold on. I know what I'm talking about. Please, I beg you. You and I will go way back.
I know, but don't say certain things.
So I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the MPP. I'm saying some members of my party
is MPP, and I don't think anybody will hope that.
Okay.
Now,
I can read to you on Facebook some of the things that were said. In fact, they have said, well, here we are. Well, let's hear what the government will say, because this is not a government that believes that external shocks have an impact on Ghana's economy.
But that doesn't mean he wish it gets worse.
Okay, all right. So this is where we are. Honorable, yes. There are some people who think that we really don't have...
Honorable before. Start with before.
I should start with, okay, that's fine.
So
all right.
That's okay.
So there are some people who say, Kojo, that we really don't have much to worry about because a fraud, MP has told us we're 5 weeks buffer. So it won't have any catastrophic impact on Ghana's economy, and for that matter, the supply of crude oil. There are some also say that no, if things continue this way, but for the fact that things are beginning to look better and de-escalate, we'll get to a point where petrol would have to perhaps 17 cedis per litre, and that would hit all of us very hard in our pockets. Where do you stand on this? What's your own analysis of the Middle East crisis and why Ghana should be worried or not worried?
Okay, so let's put it in perspective.
Okay.
The prices were up. As at yesterday, there's a meeting today of the G7 finance ministers and with the IE, International Energy Authority. There is a talk that the G7 that have stocks are going to release about 400 million barrels of crude into the system. So whilst we are not getting enough crude from the Strait of Hormuz, some G7 countries have huge stocks, that including the USA, that they can release into the system. And that talk is what has now eased the prices of crude, which went as high as 117, 120 yesterday. Now, when the US president talked about almost complete, and we realized that towards the end of the closing of the stocks yesterday, prices, the Dow and everything started going back to green when they had been red the whole day. The issue is in twofold. What America says they will do and what Iran agrees to do are two different things. Iran, as far as we've heard from them, will continue on until they achieve their aim. Because they think that, well, Iranians have a very clear mandate.
The Iranians?
Iranians, yes. The Iranians have a very clear mandate what they want to achieve. They feel that you spook the hornet's nest. Look, we are all out, and we are not going to stop this like it was stopped before for it to come back again. So now that we are out, I think the Iranians' position is very simple. They are going to achieve their objectives, and they are not going to listen to anybody to stop it. Because look, you go into a country, you've done your worst, killed their supreme leader, killed their defense minister, killed their CDS, you've done your worst. They are fighting for dignity and survival. So Iran is going to do what Iran needs to do. The other part of them fighting their neighbors, we heard the Iranian president come out to say that they apologize and they are no longer going to basically fight their neighbors unless they are attacked from those neighboring countries. So I think that is still work in progress. Now let's look at the prices and whether what is happening externally would affect Ghana. And that is where you made that statement, which I disagree with you, that people are saying that, no. Look, I was with my brother on Saturday on City, and I have said this over and over. The NDC did bad politics when MPP were faced with the Russia and Ukraine. And everybody thinks that things cannot happen to them. But karma is real, right? It's gone full 360 and come back in our face. Now, we have a situation where the external shocks affect Ghana. External shocks always affect a country. It's not only Ghana, all countries around the world. What you are able to steer is what shock absorbers, what preparations, what buffers you have within the country to lessen the shocks on your nation. With MPP government, the unfortunate event that we had was that we had just come out of COVID, which was getting us to be on our feet. Then the Russia-Ukraine war. So the shock absorbers were not there when the Russia-Ukraine war happened. And that war has a way of creating high prices because of world value chain basically getting worse. In Ghana today, nobody wish that we get into hard times. I think it's that erroneous statement that people make thinking that MPP wants there to be hard times. Why would we want to be hard times? We live in this country. Why would I want to pay 17 cedis or 20 cedis per liter for fuel? I don't want to do that because it's going to affect me. What we are saying is that because everybody in the NDC did bad propaganda and said that you cannot use Iran, Ukraine for what is happening in Ghana because there is no bombs throwing in Ghana. So if there are things going wrong in Ghana, it's because of bad governance. What we are saying is that, yes, now that there is Iran, Israel, right? If anything happens in Ghana, there's no bombs in Ghana. So you, the government, make sure that there is no consequences on the Ghanaian. Because when you are in the position, you said the same thing, that Ghanaians should not suffer as a result of a war in Ukraine. And people have started doing the distance. Where President Mahama said, the distance between Ghana and Ukraine is this. And people have said, okay, then we have nothing to fear because the distance between Ghana and Iran is even further. So nobody wish the country bad. We are saying that there is a crisis. Is it going to affect Ghana? Yes. How would it affect Ghana? It's what we are all saying that we hope the government that has started a very good 2025 economy, that they came in, they've done so well. We don't think that Ghanaians should suffer anything. There are two problems that we look at: scarcity of products and high prices.
Right.
Over the weekend, people started saying, it started already, but that wasn't the case. There was a problem with the software at MPA, and because of that, some lifting that was supposed to lift and move products around the country was not done, so there was little shortages around, but that has been resolved. I spoke to the MPA this morning, and they've resolved that problem, so there are products moving around the country. MPA has assured us that there is 7 weeks of products, but people think that 7 weeks of products should be sold at the lower price, but no, that 7 weeks of product will be sold at the new high price, because if it's not sold at a new high price, when it's sold, we can't replace it, right? So yes, we do have 7 weeks of stock, but it will be sold at the new high price, which will be determined by the petroleum players by Thursday, Friday, before we go into the new window on Monday. Scarcity is a real danger, because when prices are high and we can get to buy, walk into our forecourts and there are no queues, then that's fine. We would adjust, though uncomfortable, and buy the fuel. But when prices are high and there are scarcity, then that changes the dynamics, because now you now see queues at the forecourts and people will now start not moving their car because there is no fuel. But we pray that we don't get to that point of scarcity. And I think that is the worst form of the situation. In terms of high prices, now that we've seen the prices come down, it will take a bit of work out to see where we go on the 16th of this month in the new window, and subsequently end of the month where we go. But I think the high prices are going to be with us between now and this month.
Right.
And maybe after the end of April, maybe we might see it coming down, because then the refineries would have received the cheaper crude, if there's going to be any cheaper crude. But the expensive crude is being moved to refineries now. They are going to use those expensive crude, so the Platte will still be high. Then end of April, maybe we'll see the prices coming back down again.
Okay. Honorable.
So the market does not like uncertainty. The market flourishes well when there's stability. And stability comes about when countries are at peace with each other. When conflict erupts, no matter where it erupts, it affects the market.
Right.
And that's what we are seeing. Now, this one has been aggravated by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the oil that goes to Europe passes through the Hormuz. And so, clearly, there will be constraints, and that will manifest in the prices of fuel, because if demand and supply, if they are not getting enough fuel from the Middle East in Europe, they will be forced to increase prices because it becomes very risky to be able to move fuel, and sometimes costly, because if they don't use the Strait of Hormuz, then the other option left is to move the crude down all the way to the Cape of Good Hope and then come up. And so you do, around the world, around Africa, to be able to do that. So that alone, moving the crude that distance, is costs. Now, people will want to look for other sources. And so the Lomé Triangle is not affected by war. And there's crude there. That is the African coast. It's not affected by war. But people will now be looking to source their crude from that, and that will drive price. The good thing is that because uncertainty is what drives the market, influences the market in ways that drives prices. Now, when Trump said the war will end soon, and the G7 countries meeting to see how they could release their reserves onto the market, that has had an effect.
Calming effect, yes.
A calming effect on the market. And so that's what the market is looking to see. You hear Macron also say that, well, we are going to be part of the group of nations who will escort the ships who want to use the Strait of Hormuz. But the difficulty is that Iran's position is that any attempt to use the Strait of Hormuz will lead to an attack on the ship. And that attack might not be an air attack. We don't know how that attack will manifest itself. So escorting a vessel does not actually take off the risk of attack. And so the market will be looking to it. That's why insurance premiums have gone up. And when insurance premiums go up, they are added to the cost of the transportation of the cost of the product. And so until this war abates, we are going to be faced with a situation where nations will have to watch the market carefully. Now, because we are part of the global market, the places where we source our crude and our refined fuels will also will also be influenced by the prices on the world market. And so the crude in Ghana after our 5 weeks, or the next window actually, which they say is around the 16th of this month. This month, we might see a rise in the price of fuel, petroleum products in this country, because the importers and the OMCs will be looking to see how they will be able to use the same amount of money to import. So they will have bought the fuel cheaper, but then when they are going back, it will be expensive. So they will have to adjust their prices to be able to buy the same quantity of fuel with the money that they have. Now, what is Ghana doing? For the first time, we have been told that we have some stock. So that's the difference between the NDC and the NPP. Oh, that's the difference. So we have some buffers. So 5-week buffer. Now I'm hearing him sit because he spoke to Edoji. Yeah, 7 weeks. 7 weeks. So clearly, we have more than 1 month to go with our fuel stocks. And so that is the buffer. We will not be hit immediately by the increases in the scarcity. The scarcity, if there is scarcity, we will not be hit. Now, again, he says that we said we shouldn't talk about Ukraine-Russia war. I don't know when my brother.
He said you engage in bad politics.
No, I don't know when my brother.
Everything to Ukraine, Russia. When
he was talking, he wasn't listening to himself. You remember the famous clip of Bawumia?
Yes, it's been trending since over the weekend.
Which one? That the problems jump Ivory Coast, others, and come together.
Yes, affect Ghana. In 2015?
2015. Yes. Have you been listening to yourself? Yes. So you questioned the narrative when we said.
So are you saying that the narrative is questioning the narrative, or the narrative is an answer to a question? Because I don't get this state. If somebody said something in 2015,
sometimes you can answer a question with a question also.
Well, but we are told not to do. We are told not to do that.
The bad politics start way before now. Okay. Way before now. By economists even, by known economists. who said that, well, I mean, nothing, it should be impossible, irrational, illogical.
But in 2015, were there any crisis?
But you could be right.
Were there any crisis?
You could be right. You could be right. Oh, there were crises. The cocoa prices have plunged. We were dealing with Ebola.
Oil prices have dropped.
We were doing drastically. We were dealing with Ebola and whatnot. There were crises.
Yeah.
Now, but we said, well, so
I think its issue has to do with the Ebola.
Yeah, the Ebola. Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, so we're dealing with crisis. So now, but you see, they themselves said when the COVID struck, and COVID struck in 2019.
Yes.
That it had exposed our vulnerabilities. I didn't say that. Kenofurata, your poster boy, he said that. Because they had gone to borrow too much. Now, the danger was that they were not going to get money again because every nation was now looking internally to use its own resources to deal with the COVID. So there was not going to be money available. So it exposed our vulnerabilities. Okay, to the extent that, because we're not getting locked out, we're not getting money, we could not even raise enough revenue to even service our debt. We're using smart borrowing tactics, borrow to service debt. We could not get to borrow, so we could not service our debts. So the country was faced with an inevitable choice.
Right.
Declare yourself what? Bankrupt. And give the pensioners a haircut to see whether you could come out. Initially, they sought to try to escape the dire consequences of their reckless decisions by saying that they were going to bring e-levy. It also failed. So we were not saying Ukraine-Russian war. In fact, your actions, clearly, and on Saturday you said it. You said it. I don't know why you haven't spoken to modernize your position.
No. The action I talked about is that, you mentioned that the vulnerability. And
no. You said that, well, the second term of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo were not the best.
Yes, on Galamsey.
Not the economy.
And also because of because of the effect of. You see, hold on.
You are modifying your position now.
Alice, let me clarify that.
I'm sure you have been spoken to after that.
No, I have not spoken to anybody.
So you see, it's not our karma. It's just that when you give, and you know the amount of money that COVID brought into this country.
Some money.
Trillions.
No, a lot.
Trillions of dollars.
Not some money.
How much did the World Bank give us?
Okay, so
how much did the Bank of Ghana give us?
That whole thing is misconstrued. You know that
it's not misconstrued.
It is because there was no economic activity. When you're only being given money to spend and there are no economic activity, then that money is not really going into productivity.
Oh, I'm not talking about productivity.
Yes, but that's
I'm not bringing productivity equation. I'm saying that how much did we get?
And you think that money should have basically been enough?
And we got so much money and they spent, the Auditor General's report on the utilization of the COVID funds. Yeah. Have you read it?
Yeah.
It's a report on how not to use public resources efficiently. Not so. And that is so government.
In fact, for the government at the time was the Felicia Tete tape.
The what?
The Felicia Tete tape.
Which one is
the lady
that?
who?
You are talking about Felicia Tete alone. The number of contracts that were awarded and mobilization given and no work done. Go and read the report. Even the Auditor General, the receipts, you couldn't reconcile some of the receipts. The money that came from abroad.
You see, Auditor General is always sometimes also a problem on his own. And let me take a minute to talk about that.
You see, so we didn't create it. We created it. As opposition party, we were just holding you accountable. We're just saying that there are certain things that you are doing that clearly doesn't make sense. You have a law that says that, yes, because of the dire consequences of putting so much money in the economy, the Bank of Ghana can do quantitative easing. We allowed it. But we said that the law says that you can't do more than 5% of the previous year's revenue. Clear in the law. And that if you are compelled to do more than 5%, you do what? You go back to Parliament for permission to do that. So the Parliament can have the opportunity to interrogate what you are going to do.
According to the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
What did we do? So the Reckless Act sent inflation to 54%. Depriving people, businessmen like you, the value of your resources. Your resources promoted the value of your resources promoted the money that you had in the bank.
But that did not come out of a vacuum.
It came out of a vacuum.
No,
you didn't have.
No,
that's why when we say that you don't have the ideas to govern the country, we are not making.
And that is where when people also say that now that those similar shocks are here, let's see how you do it.
We are going to deal with it.
That's all.
We're going to deal with it. In fact, yesterday, I was talking to somebody. They said, you people, you wait. I said, but you don't trust in us.
No, we don't.
Because you see, in December 2024, we inherited a certain economy of this country.
A growing, beautiful economy.
A certain economy.
Growing.
On its knees.
No, it's not possible.
It was trying to wake up, we couldn't. So we administered some injections to the economy, and we did it with discipline, focus, and consistency. We had a vision, and the injections worked. We treated this economy of the Mali. That inflation dropped. The deficit dropped.
The deficit hasn't dropped. It hasn't. You see, when you owe and you do the semantics you guys have done, that's the problem I have. Your debt stock, you see, your debt stock is your debt stock. How much you owe in dollar, that physical amount has not changed. When you now do
I'm not talking about debt.
So deficit,
I'm not saying debt to economy. Okay. Even though that has also, I'm not talking about debt to economy, debt to GDP. Even though that has dropped, because it was when we took the economy, it was 61.5 or so percent to the GDP. Okay, that GDP ratio.
But look at the dollar equivalent is the same. No, the dollar equivalent is the same.
Were you in this country when before one day?
But could you also know that the
foreign
exchange portion of our debt contributes to the semantics of the debt.
Semantics of GDP. Hold on, the physical amount. Hold on, there is semantics.
There are no semantics.
Okay, when you do debt to GDP, right? You are doing a percentage of an amount.
Yes.
Now, you have external debt, which is in dollars, and you have internal debt, which is in cedis.
Yes. Yeah.
Your dollar debt, if it stands at, let's say, $300 million, it's still $300 million.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
That hasn't changed.
Yes. That's true.
So you have not reduced
your debt. You have reduced the debt.
Because
let me tell you, because we don't print the dollar. We're not America.
So we
don't print dollars here.
Yes, you need cedis.
We need cedis
to finance your debt.
So if you had 300, and your cedi was 16 cedis to a dollar, you
have to find more cedis.
Yes,
and your budget is in cedis.
Yes.
So when you quantify the cedi equivalent of 300 million or 300 billion,
you now
against your debt,
you need less cedis to. You need okay, hold on. You need less cedis to finance your external debt, right? Okay, but you know the other side of the table.
But there's no other side.
There is other side because your exports are in dollar. So your revenue also decreases.
But there's always
it's not. You see, no. But you see, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying that you have. Okay, look, you have a debt to pay. You have the debt to pay in dollar. You are saying that your cedis. But guess what? We are an export-driven economy.
Yes.
Where we ship gold, we ship cocoa, we ship a lot of things. We ship oil, right? When you ship the oil, when you ship the oil, yes, we are net importer, but most how you pay your revenue.
We're net importer. So if you earn your revenue, not net importer.
You earn revenue.
You net it off.
You earn revenue. No, Alaji. Taxes are a smaller portion of our revenue. Most of our revenue is earned from exports.
Yes.
You earn revenue by exporting and you get dollar. Right. So you need that same amount of dollar. You see, you are not bringing you are servicing your dollar externally by not changing US cedis to dollar. What I'm saying to you is that if you have to send $10 million outside, you still need $10 million.
Yes,
that's semantics we are doing on that number. It's semantics. Because you see, if you are to export, look, you know now. No, Alaji, let me make something clear. You see, look, now, you know this.
One statement. You are taking all the time to explain.
No, okay, go ahead.
You say, when you have a problem that is huge, you take a lot of time to explain.
Oh, no, it's not. It's very simple.
See, so if you have 10 million, would you, businessman, 10 million, your debt, then the cedi was 16 cedis. You're still a businessman. You go around, including going to Abochi, to buy your dollar to be able to deal with your debt. Now, if the dollar comes to, you still have your cedis. Okay? Your cedis, which was 16 million, sitting in your bank, you have not spent it. You wanted to use it to service your debt. So you have your buffer. Okay? That CD is still sitting there. But when you accumulated the CDs, the dollar was 16 CDs to the dollar. Now the dollar has come to 10 CDs, 11 CDs. Your buffer, if you go to draw from your buffer to service that 30 million or $100 million, you are going to take less CDs.
I agree.
The difference is what has come to you.
He doesn't disagree.
I don't disagree.
He says that there's a downside to it. The downside is that for an economy like Ghana, which is export-driven, which is we don't export, we don't get forex. What is happening is that the forex that comes in, the value of that forex then goes down. That's the point he's trying to make.
And
so he says, for instance, the cocoa farmers.
So how did we?
So the cocoa farmers. So that's what he's.
So how did we come?
And I counter argue that, but there's always going to be a trade-off.
So that's where I'm saying that is semantics. That number that you give is semantics because your total debt stock is still sitting there.
How can it be semantics?
Because your amount, you owe me $100.
Yes.
You owe me $100.
Yes.
You only get $100. You can pay me if you send this bottle to London and get pounds to pay me the $100.
That is true.
Now you now locally change the exchange rate. So if you now go and sell this bottle in London, the money you get is not enough to pay the $100 because you change your exchange rate. But you still owe me $100.
Yes. So
now, if you are to raise money locally,
you say it's export driven. It's true. But what did we do?
What did we do?
We had PMMC. They didn't know how to deal with PMMC.
Oh, the gold board that we came up with. The whole idea is that we go for oil that we came with.
That's surprised.
No, but hold on. But the whole concept, you see, that whole concept, gold for oil, the essence of gold board. They talk about here's idea. It is the whole because if without hold on, let me cast some joke. Before you open your mouth, hold on.
Was something he
gold for reserve, but that is the fundamental of gold board. Without that idea, would you guys think?
No, hold on. The concept of setting up a board.
I want to ask Moko a question. So is it one of the case that Bawumia had this idea when he was vice president and never implemented it because he thought if he implemented it, then he will come into power.
If he implemented what?
Gold board.
No.
He will come into power.
I misspoke when I said gold board, but I'm saying that. No, what I'm saying is that the fundamental concept. Look, fundamental concept of making PMMC. Look, there's a concept. There's a concept of mobilizing the artisanal gold, bringing in policies to make sure that we mop up artisanal gold. There's a concept that the international majors in the country should sell a certain percentage of their gold to Ghana. That was part of the gold for reserve policy. That didn't come with gold.
No.
Yes.
So
yes.
That is
let's again gold for forex. Gold for oil and gold for reserve.
So let me put all that under the umbrella of gold purchase program. The domestic gold purchase, that is all under the domestic gold purchase program. So the domestic gold purchase program is the umbrella.
Since we started giving concessions out to invested in the large scale gold mining and were entitled to payment of royalties, those concessions have always contained a provision where we can take our royalty
in gold. Yes, so but we've never exercised it until. we came up that we should. But hold on, you say you can, but we have never taken it. So what I'm saying that listen, let's clarify this.
Not introduced.
No, but hold on.
Because they say it's always been there, but it hasn't been implemented.
If you are taking it in dollar, if you are taking it in cedis or dollar, is it the same as somebody say take it in gold?
So even not championing it.
It's not the same.
No, even not championing it. Probably he operationalized it.
Wow, yes. So give
him
that due.
No, he agrees with you. He's taking back the introduction. He's taking that one back. It says operationalize.
So the point is that you see, listen to this.
Where are the introductions? Where it's operationalized?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You see, the point is this. When you look at the umbrella, right? Domestic gold purchase program.
Yes.
That is the new concept that was brought. Not gold board, as I said earlier, but the domestic gold purchase program was introduced by us.
All right, so let me bring in my viewers because we have just 2 minutes to go. So, Nia Matefio, big man. Yeah. It says Kojo Poku has developed the penchant of defending. Okay, I don't want to use this. As if that is not bad and insulting to our intelligence. He's now defending things the MPP members have said on social media that he has no knowledge about. What sort of attitude is this? That's coming from Ahmad Tefio. You know, Franklin Kujo sent. He put something up on social media yesterday. I'll look at lots of it. Now, Samako Kelly from East Legon Hill says, "Good morning, Moro. Please ask Kujo the simple question as to whether, if he were governing this country, he would prefer a higher CD dollar exchange rate or a lower rate." I think that's a very
balance. The balance is 13.
Okay.
Let me. Official rate of 10.4.
It's not artificial.
Very artificial. Very artificial.
Okay. So let me look at this. So Jesus Christ on YouTube is watching us. Yes, Jesus Christ is watching us. Yes, but that's Jesus Christ. That's yes. It says that grassroots fought for the party, expecting when they come to power, he or she will get an appointment or be employed. Instead, opposition are rather occupying positions. Meanwhile, when MEP came, they sacked all the members of the NDC working for the government. JDM, the president, is not serious and is mistreating his own people who stood in for the party day and night. 2028 percentage of the party will reduce because many people wouldn't vote for the party NDC nor MPP. Okay, so let me look at this. So master planner. Oh, sorry. So I believe this is Atu Okran. Yes, Atu Okran 7737. It says the intellectuals in Ghana must redeem Ghana from this bad leadership of the NDC and NPP. And then also Amaria 1912 says some of us, we don't need anything. It is for the love of the JM and what we know he can do. But you always need your base, so listen to them. Okay. And then All Opinion says the NDC grassroots is tremendously angry. The earlier the leadership deals with it, the better. And then also this one. Okay, so that's fine. I don't know that. So do you think perhaps the General Secretary should be coming out to say something about this? Even though we've stopped talking about it, we've moved on. But based on all
I think basically the
sort of sets issues in its proper perspective. All right. Engaged. Okay. Master Planner Junior says that when it comes to economic management, I don't understand why the NDC always wants to talk. You have no credibility to talk about economic management because your credibility is zero. We saw Mahama 1 and Mahama 2 will even be worse than the first one because there is no clear-cut policy or plan. This country is an autopilot. Just give time some time. Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst from Kentampo.
How can you be
now this
autopilot?
Kalio Man from WA says, please tell Kojo Kwoku he should stop interjecting. Honorable say we are listening. And Carlos from Ododo Dio says, good morning. Carlos. Some of us believe that the main problem is the government's failure to allow the oral initiative to work as strongly as we promised when we were in opposition. Because of this, some people are planning to organize a demonstration against the government. The concern is that the government has stopped arresting those from previous MP governments who allegedly embezzled or destroyed state resources. Now, those same people have the capacity to influence and incite supporters and grassroots members against the government, especially regarding job opportunities and employment. They know that many spaces are already occupied and there are limited opportunities for others to be employed. Because of this, they are pushing the grassroots to become frustrated with the government and create unnecessary tension within the party. So that's Carlos from Ododo. Now, Alhaji Abdul Razak says, Kojo has credibility issues. He should sit somewhere. He said somewhere that Bawumia never said MP has executed Pauluguda. Meanwhile, he was on Asampa to tell the whole world
people are
they
now
are done
on my
with the
social
dumb.
media arguing. Listen,
Okay.
I challenge everybody in this country to bring a tape that says
The
Bawumia opened his
problem
mouth and
is
said
that-
that completed. You see, Obika say yaye.
The problem is that-
Yaye doesn't mean completed. And they say I'm leaving.
Yaye.
Yes, yaye doesn't mean completed.
Yeah, but you talked about semantics.
No,
We need
but
to
no.
talk about
Hold on. What I'm
When
saying
you say
is that
we
Dr.
have
Bawumia
constructed-
said yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. But the fact that no, he spoke
said
chi. He spoke chi. Or say yaye.
What is that? Is it in past tense?
But
Is
there
it
are
in
three
past tense or
phases.
present?
There are three
No.
phases. He's done phase 1 and phase 2.
Oh.
And if he's not done the phase 3, which is a physical construction, has he not done it?
No,
No, but you know chief for. What I'm saying is that look, people can say all they want. The most important thing is that Dr. Bawumia said yaye. He's done 2
Can
phases
I
of
ask you a
3
simple
phases.
question?
Yes, you can.
Is it in this present or past tense?
He spoke it in 2020.
Was it?
So in 2020, when he spoke, were you in Parliament in 2020?
Is it present or past?
Yeah.
Is it present or past?
It's past.
Yes.
Yes,
But
but he's
means
done 2 phases.
An action done and completed.
Yes, 2 phases is done. But this is
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
unique.
Tomorrow,
That's how
you
it came
guys should
across.
help this argument. When you go to VRA website, there are 3 phases. MPP did 2 phases.
When you are a
the 3rd
communicator
phase,
and you ask the host to help you,
No,
it means that you are
I know
failing.
he should help you. See, you know what? Yesterday, I'm not going to mention names. There are people doing live videos and talking carelessly. Look, I'm an account through and through.
Yes.
Bawumia said, yeah. Yes.
That's
but
the
you see, the argument I'm making is that Dr. Bawumia never said completed. He never said completed. It hasn't been completed. Hold on. NDCC Kumasi Airport. NDCC Terminal 3. Was Terminal 3 completed when NDC was leaving? No. Was NDC leaving? Was there Kumasi Airport? No. But NDC Kumasi Airport. You see, when somebody says Waye BB, it doesn't mean say Waye. In Chi, we'll actually say, now Uye Wie, or say there be Manye. So that's the complete conversation.
That's a follow-up.
No, but exactly. But my point is that when Obi Kabasi, you know why people are upset? You know why people are upset? People have basically got it into their head that Dr. Bawumia said Fualugu Dam is completed. And I have punched holes, but he never said completed. He never used that word. Yes, but Yaya is not completed.
There's this man called Moses from Bawe. He's actually, he said he's a former audit service personnel.
Okay.
He wants to know what is the government doing about the audit report on how COVID funds were used.
Yeah, so it's part of the...
He's very worried and nothing.
No, it's part of the... I said that if you read the COVID Auditor General's report on the utilization of the COVID funds, you'll be left in no doubt that this country was in a mess.
So is that part of the
No. What is the audit report? That doesn't run against the Commission of the Crime. It's part of the matters. The president, when he was campaigning, spoke about it.
When are the people being arrested? It's been 1 year, 2 months.
Okay. All right. So
when are the people? Like ask the question.
Your supporters want to see.
Are you expecting that this will jump and go there? But anyway,
the house is market. You know
the funny thing? I'm beginning to leave rent-free in people's head, which is good.
Right. Anyway, let me also say a very good morning to Muheba Idrisu. Muheba, I'm told that you are contesting communications officer for the Savannah region. Well, I've seen your posters all around.
Communication officer for the party.
Yes, for the Savannah region. Queen Heba, a very, very good friend of mine. So, but I can only wish you well. She's a fantastic lady. I think she'll do a good job. Yes, she'll do a good job, and she would need the support of I'm sure her party people for her to cross this hurdle. But anyway, so, and also let me say a very good morning to Hassan Saudogo. You're watching the show. Also a very good morning to you, Mansa Musa, who watches us from the UK. He's a Voice of London. He's the host of Voice of London, and he's tried several times to get me to speak on that show. It's just that the timing hasn't been that favorable to me. But I will. Yes. But it's I should say hello to you too.
Okay.
Yes, I should say hello to you. Yes, very good guy. Very solid guy. But anyway, Kojo, thank you.
Thank you, my brother. And good morning to all the people I live rent-free, guys.
Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
For exiled relatives of political prisoners, the only thing they can do is try to make their voices heard. That's why they gather every Sunday in Warsaw, whatever the weather. In Belarus, even a small protest like this would be unthinkable. Nastya has come here with her family. She wants people to know what's happened to her father.
Freedom for political prisoners. Long live